We're gonna just what?
All
What the
right,
fuck?
we finally should be live.
Live.
Finally. All right, invite me when y'all are done. Hey, Will, where did Uno go?
He's a common. His music up. I don't know why. Chats aren't coming up on the side.
Zach, did you ever get Uno to work?
Fine work.
And
It,
work.
it, no, I didn't. No, I can't get Uno. It's on the wrong screen now for some reason.
Sounds like everybody's having a great time.
Give it a 1 out of 3. What are you supposed to do? There we go.
But I have Uno already?
Oh, it for some reason works now.
You join a game?
How do you call Uno?
The U button.
What the fuck is U button on PlayStation 4 controller?
I had to stop using PlayStation controller because it just didn't work. for
The
me.
U button?
Yep.
Are you on a game together?
No, I was.
I literally joined at Uno and I lost.
I don't know what happened. I gotta.
Leave it to me.
Oh my god, this game is gonna give me a panic attack.
I literally joined at Uno and I lost.
I'm trying to create a game. There we go.
Leave it to me.
Alright, Zach. Shoot you an invite. Oh my god, this game is gonna give me
About me.
I didn't get one either.
We both should have gotten one by now.
Well,
There we
I
go.
just got it.
About me.
I didn't get one either.
We both should have gotten one by now.
I just got it. That looks just like you.
Oh, thanks, man. It really captured the gray in my hair.
Yeah?
Do we have to wait for another person?
No, I was just getting shit done.
Who is Zach? Is that you? What the
I
fuck
have
is
no
your
idea.
name, dude?
I have no idea. It made me change booty cabbage, so I put it for math offs, and then apparently that just didn't work either. So
What the fuck? Dusty's gonna kick my ass.
Wow.
What?
We're playing 7s and 0s.
I don't think I've ever played any
What
sort
is
of
that
Uno
supposed to
0 or
mean?
7
I've
meant
never
anything.
played that.
7s and 0s.
I didn't jump in time.
Normal.
I suck. Does that mean there are no 7s? I've never played this game though. What the fuck does that mean?
Just 7s and 0s, dude.
How the fuck? Oh, it was said I could play a blue card. I was like, what? Does that mean there are no 7s? I've never played this game. What the fuck does that mean?
I need another beer.
Oh, it was said I could play a blue card. There's Dusty over there. There's the AI Dusty.
Ow. I turn my music up.
You see how many cards in there?
Oh, I forgot Brandon's looking at my stream, bro. You can see what cards I have.
Huh?
You can see how many cards I have. You can see my cards.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's a good observation. Real good job. Who is
Still
the...
gonna fuck your shit
Am I getting
up.
all these draw twos? What is happening?
Somebody's getting them.
Yep. Zach got him.
Second one.
Yep.
You can see how many cards I
Oh,
have.
and it skips your turn if you have to draw.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's a good
Ain't no way I don't have a green.
So these are the most made up fucking Uno rules I've ever heard.
Somebody sound mad.
Well, I've never heard the 7-0 thing either.
Sorry, Dusty.
That's all I have, Zach. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm just happy that my game is actually working now.
Dusty.
He's pissed. And it
Damn.
skips your turn. That sucks.
Bro jumped in so quick on that.
He was ready.
You know what I think about that?
That's what 7 does. You fucking changed
What?
hands with
What?
somebody. So you got Wilson.
Give me my hand back, dude.
Bro jumped in so quick on that. Damn. Dusty hates me, dude.
That's what 7 does. The only thing I had that color.
I got you.
What the fuck is going on?
Burst.
Holy shit, what's going on? I haven't had a chance to play since I got this deck.
I wish I still had it. Oh man, I mashed every button right there to figure out what it was. Trying to make me draw.
See, Brandon knows what I have.
It's a C.
Brandon, you son of a bitch.
I'm mashing the button. It won't let me jump in. That on me or you? Who was that on? Okay, good.
Brandon knows what I have.
Oh, my turn? Oh yeah? He don't have a red. Yeah,
I ever
that's what I
get to
thought. That's what I thought, Dusty. Oh,
Do I
reverse,
ever get to
reverse. I
play?
wasn't ready for that. I don't have a red either. There's a red.
Just want to play. Fuck you, Dusty. You piece
Oh,
of
I
shit.
don't have a red.
Ah, what was that?
What?
Oh, my arm.
What'd you do?
I feel like someone just stung me.
Yo, I drew every single yellow there was in the deck.
You have to pick who you want to switch with.
Ooh. Deck.
What was that?
Look at all the yellows I just drew, dude. No, Zach. God.
Take your shit back.
Damn.
Damn it. Trading with
That's
Will.
dirty. I don't have anything.
Zach.
I thought I was gonna get stacked on.
Nah, I had some in one of my hands, but I don't know where that hand is at this point.
Oh, Will get hit with a draw.
The fuck is all this?
Oh, I hit it that time. Hit the jump in.
We're all getting low.
There's
Son
Zach
of a
has a
bitch.
lot of yellows.
Y'all both have yellows out the ass.
What you talking about?
Oh, you bitch.
Green.
I'm
Keep it
bye.
green.
See ya.
Green.
There we go. Finally got one.
This son of a bitch with yellows. I'm gonna kill myself.
Oh, come on, man. I thought it shifted the other way. Why does it go that way?
These fucking ones, bro. Yeah, I was getting
Ooh, Dusty.
slapped right now.
Oh, come on, man. I thought it shifted the other way. Why does it go that way?
These fucking
I didn't say to play that, did I? Automatically played it.
I think you have to play like the most available thing, or like the next available thing. Al hasn't had a chance to play it forever. Zach, why would you give the AI the chance?
I don't know
Can I
what
play?
you're talking about, dude.
When's
You
the
said
last
jump
time
in,
I got
said,
dude, let me play.
He's a slut.
Dude,
He is a slut.
Oh my goodness. I had this is fucking crazy.
You just played. Calm down.
Yo, that was my first time in like 12 moves.
Have these, Brandon.
Thank God. Thank goodness. Oh, yes, sir.
Zach, you're telling me you had 5 yellows?
Wait, Will. What is the Uno button on the controller?
I think it's B.
Okay, doesn't matter.
Mash either B or square. What colors did you have, Brandon?
Me? I fire, man. Yellow
He did not
and
have a
blue, I
green.
think.
I know he didn't have a green.
What is the Uno button?
You just
Please tell me that's not
like
to
that.
me.
Yeah, I know he didn't have a green.
Please tell me that's not to me. You
It is to
motherfucker.
He chose a color I didn't have. It was made me do it.
This poor fella.
Who?
It just adds to his arsenal.
Please tell me that's not to me.
He chose a color I didn't have. It was
Have fun, bitch. Damn.
He's quick with it. He's really fucking quick with it.
How? It was. I made it in time to jump in.
Brian, he has a blue and a yellow.
He's really fucking quick with it. What a cheap way to play, telling people.
He has a blue and a yellow, Brennan.
Sure does.
You didn't say Uno, bitch.
I did. I was mashing the button the whole time.
Which button?
You.
Dude, I'm mashing.
I
don't know
told you
which
the
one
controller. The controller doesn't work for me.
No. Yes. No.
It's
Not
a red
good.
one.
Not
it's a
good.
red one. He didn't say Uno.
The whole time.
Which button?
Okay, we're good.
You is the coffee.
Dude, I'm mashing.
I told you the controller doesn't work for me.
This is Zach's having fun. Zach's having a
Green
blast.
out of all colors, man.
Zach is having a blast right now.
Well, it's better now that the game actually works, but I can't use the controller, so.
Ooh, this dude. Who did blue? Brandon?
Me, because I knew that guy didn't have blue. What kind of luck is that?
Zach is having a blast.
But it's better now that the game actually works.
I need
but
green.
can't use the controller, so.
Who did blue?
It said jump in. I hit it with more than half the time left, and it said nope.
The hell's taking so long, Brandon?
I don't have a red.
He's a red and a green.
It said jump in. I hit it with more than half the time left, and it said nope.
Apparently, I'm looking.
Lay down a 5, 6. Okay.
He has a red and a green. Red and a green.
Keep it away from me.
I mean, you're gonna bring it around town. All I have is a red and a green.
Well, that's your problem. Me and Zach were
There we
fine.
go. Yeah, draw you little slut.
Alright, Zach, bring it. Hit me with the +4. Why not? And I still didn't get a red card.
Oh, okay. Okay. Whoa, whoa.
How did
What's happening?
skip me?
It's you again now, isn't it?
It's you now.
Oh, excuse me.
My God, this is just. Now I need to stop Zach.
Dude, the jump in is bullshit in this game. Absolute bullshit.
I don't really get how any of the mechanics work in this game. Because I feel like none of
Put
the
cards down.
buttons actually fucking work. Thank you.
Apparently, your shit don't work.
That's what I'm saying. Big throats. Alright.
Bro.
I don't really get how any of the I feel like none of the buttons actually fucking work.
Damn, Zach. You were
Right,
taking
you're
some
drawing
cards
hard.
right there. What? Alright, that one I fucked up. Why are they gonna switch
Yeah.
it to Y? Damn, Zach. You were
Right,
taking
you're
some
drawing
cards
hard.
right there.
TikTok. TikTok.
What? Alright, that one I fucked up. Why are they
Oh, you
gonna
skipped
switch it to
him.
Y? Damn right.
It's a red one. It's a red one. He didn't call Uno.
Dusty sucks.
I know. All he does is take it and doesn't call Uno. Brandon has a red one.
He's got 3.
Yeah, but he also has a red one.
Oh, okay.
Keep that in mind. Dusty ain't got greens.
Don't. I thought he was gonna hit me.
Alright, now Brandon has a red one. There goes Brandon's red one.
Fuck Dusty.
You can call it before you put the card down.
Now we don't know
Figured
what
that
Brandon has.
out.
Yeah, let me pull up a stream. Let me pull up a stream.
Mine?
There goes Brandon's red one. You have a blue 5. I know you do, because
I got a
Trying to
blue
put the-
skip. Pussy.
You try to put nah. Let me pull up a stream. He is in blue 5.
How'd I get all these cards? What?
You didn't call Uno a second time.
Oh
Apparently.
my god.
Oh my god, thanks Dusty. You have a blue 5.
Y'all suck.
It just keeps telling me to do
What
stuff.
the?
Thanks Dusty. Dusty's my friend now.
Dude.
Dude, Dusty loves me now.
Dude, what? If I get hit with this, I swear to
Zach.
God.
Dude, Zach, you were fucking my day up.
Dusty's doing it. I'm just kidding. It just keeps telling me to do stuff. It was the only thing I had at the time.
God damn. Thanks Dusty. Dusty's my friend. Dude, Dusty loves me.
I clicked on the button that said Uno and it just didn't do anything. I click it every time and it does nothing.
I feel bad. You can click it before you put your card down.
I fucking did.
Did it say Uno?
No, it doesn't do anything.
Are you on
that
controller
bitch.
or keyboard?
I had to switch to keyboard because my controller stopped working.
Did you just put a 7 down?
Do I have to switch with somebody if I
Yeah.
put a 7 down? Oh, that's fucking stupid. I'm just gonna let it pick it for me. This game is the worst version of Uno I've ever fucking played.
Give me that.
No.
That's the most retarded shit.
Swapping decks with anybody is just fucking
Yeah,
stupid.
we gotta take jump in out. That's just.
No.
I mean,
Jump
not
in's
jump
fine,
in,
just
but
swapping
we
decks
can't
is-
play this 7 shit. It takes too long.
The 7 shit's fun.
It takes too long.
I don't care how long it takes. We out here.
Swapping decks with anybody is just fucking
We gotta take jump in out. That's
Jump in's fine, just swapping
we
decks.
can't play this 7 shit. It takes too long.
The 7 shit's fun.
Oh, it takes too long. Not ready for that.
God. We out here. Sorry.
That's fine.
Fuck! I hit the
Hey.
wrong goddamn button.
What is it doing?
Who? Sorry. Sorry.
It's not like it does anything.
Hurts me.
Don't you do it, Dusty.
You know, oh, I was about to say, I could have sworn you would have had a bunch of them.
Sorry. Sorry. We out here, baby.
It's not like it does anything.
He's
Oh,
got
yeah,
a
you
red.
did.
Change it from Jack. Change it.
You son of a bitch! You're a cheating son of a bitch.
Wait, did I actually call it that time?
Wait, Brand, we don't know what Zach has now. We out here, baby.
Well, I'm pretty sure he picked the color that he has.
I pick at random.
You son of a bitch. It's a yellow 9, right? It's a yellow 9. We don't know what Zach has now. It's a yellow
This
9.
game ever. Fucking swapping
Hey, he
decks.
looked at my stream, dog.
I can't help what you've got up on the stream.
Alright, Brandon, don't turn it yellow. Holy shit, Dusty. It's a yellow.
He's just throwing him down.
What the hell, Dusty?
Dusty's killing it.
Dude. Alright.
Brandon, I said don't turn it yellow. Alright, Brandon, don't.
What a fucking stupid game, dude.
Dude, we're
was the
not
most
playing
fun
that
part.
game mode again. I can't. That's way. I gotta focus way too long. No, get us out of this. We're playing a classic
Wait,
game of Uno.
There's no other game mode.
What do you mean there's no other game mode? There's a fucking classic game of Uno.
Dude, that was so fun.
I'm about to go off like the old video with the dude goes off on the Xbox 360 shit. Get me in a classic game.
We said, Brandon, just don't turn it yellow.
How do I lead this shit?
Oh, we're doing a 2v2.
To be fair though, like you don't really get to pick what you put down half the time. I feel like it would just automatically
Yo,
pick
where are
whatever.
y'all?
That Will left.
I have to reinvite you. I took off 7-0.
And I quit, or is that gonna quit the game?
You have to quit, I'm pretty sure.
To be fair though, like you don't really.
That's what I had to do at least to get out of it, because it was still playing with me there. I just added AI into the wheel spot.
Can I quit, or is that gonna quit the game?
You have to quit, I'm pretty sure. That's why I had to get out of it, because it was still playing with me there. I just added AI into the wheel spot.
Alright, Zach. See if we can get a real guy in here.
Looking at that.
Should get started. They can usually join like halfway through. See if we can get a real guy. I guess in like at like 8:30. Might as well just turn the audio on the thing.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
The pre-cum.
There you go.
Brandon.
Hold on, what am I doing? Hold on. I got it.
Like 4
1 second left.
Oh yeah, me and Brandon are on the same team. I forgot.
What does that mean?
Did I just make
I
you
don't know,
draw
dude, we got
forward?
teams.
Oh.
No, it means the first teammate to get it. Oh yeah, me and Brandon. Trump's coming off his plane.
Hell yeah, let's go Trump. Get it, boy. Come out with the game face on.
Yo, Zach, that's so not chill.
How was
I thought
that
you were on the
already
other
at
side.
2 cars?
I'm not even at 2 cars. I got 7.
Oh,
Yo, let me at him. Let me at
I
this
can't
guy.
do shit.
He's got a blue. He's got a blue. Don't do it, Zach. Whatever
Alright,
you're
well.
about to do.
I didn't really have a chance to do anything.
There we
Yeah,
go.
screw that guy.
Sorry, Zach.
Sorry, Zach.
Okay. It's just a part of the game.
Why? Sorry, Zach.
Part of the
Sorry,
game.
Zach.
What? Why
Damn.
didn't I get to throw my one in?
Part of the game. Too slow.
It
Gotta
didn't
be
even
the
give
same
me an
color.
option. It still
can
didn't
only
let me
jump-
do it.
You can only jump in if it's the same color and number.
Stupid. Sorry, Zach.
What do you mean that's stupid? What do you? You just want to put all 9s down at the same time? It's only been 4 times.
Sorry, Luna. Oh, she about to drop some shit on me.
Ooh.
Okay.
What?
What is going on, dude? I'm having a panic attack with all this. It's like overstimulation.
Zach,
Dog, I just want to play.
how does yours work? Mine does not work.
That was because I stopped using the controller mouse and everything's 1,000 times easier.
Brandon, I know you didn't have what you had and you put the yellow one down.
What do you mean?
If you put the other thing down, I had the shit to finish.
Oh,
And you put a fucking... Now look where we're at, Brandon.
dude, that's your fault.
Now this is where we're at, Brandon. You didn't call Uno, Brandon.
How do you call Uno?
You...
How do you call Uno? Why do you have to call it before? Jarrett, shut the fuck up. You're screaming, bitch. Get on Uno.
How's this guy on my team? He just fucking picked the worst color.
What are y'all playing?
Uno.
Uno.
Ooh, no.
Oh, I just left. Whoops.
I'm really good at Uno. Is it on Steam?
It is.
Yeah.
Uno. Are we doing Uno flip reverse theme? Are we doing Uno 50 and
No, it's the cheapest one
There's
possible.
no
think it's-
way.
well, this is the most expensive one.
Remember when I told you it was $5 on sale? You didn't buy it?
It's $3.99 right now.
Okay, get it then.
I'm buying Uno with the promotion though.
I swear he's gonna download it wrong. I know
He is.
I
He is.
already know he is.
He is. He will. He's gonna download like
Yeah, we're
who.
streaming, so don't say anything fucking stupid.
You can say whatever you want. I approve this message.
And I didn't realize you guys were streaming.
Yeah,
That's
we're
pretty
we're streaming Uno, and then we got the countdown to the debate in the bottom left box.
I got the Poopa Johns coming.
Oh yeah, well that's
Mhm.
tough for you.
Hey,
Put Johns, he says.
got a discount, 20% off. So
Nice.
Brandon, you better draw something good.
Dude, they're throwing cards down so fast. I don't even know what
Brandon,
to do.
you have thrown this game so many times.
Of course, he ends it on a +2. Fuck you, Zach.
Oh, I apparently got some sort of anime card unlock.
oh, that's fucking cool, dude. What is it, Dragon Ball Z? I mean, no.
No, just some chick. I don't know who it is.
Is it Bulma?
I wish, dude. Actually, yeah, I wish.
Yeah, me too. Android 18 too. Chi-Chi? Oh.
You were giving me brain damage.
Dude, I didn't know what to play right there. Are you talking to me?
No, I'm talking to Jared. He
Oh.
comes to the call is just straight tisms.
I mean, he's
What do you mean by that?
there.
What do I mean by that? Say it with your chest.
Say it with your chest. What comes after that?
Probably a hard R. I don't know, man.
What?
I ain't about it.
Light it down.
I ain't about it.
Baby, light those and turn the lights down low.
All right, Brennan, do it. You know what to do.
You know what to do.
Uno is complete.
Do it. Make it yellow.
Uno can be played.
What are you
Uno wants you to touch its cards.
I knew it, Will. I fucking knew it.
You didn't know
See?
anything. You didn't know anything.
You see? See? You gotta trust me on this, alright?
I wouldn't trust you with.
Wait. Why can't I go on top of that?
Stack it, dude. Stack it.
How? Ah, there it is. There it is.
Zach just ruined his teammate.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter anyways.
Zach just hit his teammate with the oopty wop.
I mean, it doesn't matter anyways. You're gonna win. The,
Whoop-de-wow.
it was over anyways.
W. The heck did I unlock?
I unlocked something too. Wait. Get me out of this.
Wow.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
Cause you
anyways.
left.
Nobody left.
Over anyways.
No, like I don't. We're playing with AI. Get me back to Earth.
What are you talking about right now?
Nothing.
My game froze. What happened?
All right, hold on. I'm gonna fucking. No, like I don't. We're gonna cut up the audio.
I'm on this bitch.
Shut up.
Okay.
Garrett.
What are you talking about right
I'm on it.
Nothing.
My game froze.
Hey.
Oh shit.
Wait.
Hey, dude, I have Uno Valhalla cards unlocked.
Why, tell me why Uno's booting up on my small screen. I hate this.
Winter theme. They got Rayman. Shit, I got Rayman. I am Rain Man. Ooh, that's cool.
The stakes in this election couldn't be higher.
November
All right, where's the
5th
invite?
will be the most important day in the history of our country.
This is a CBS News special.
Alright, I'm inviting y'all now.
Decides Campaign 24.
Dude, this song is
The
bang.
first presidential debate. Now reporting
whatever I'm
from
listening to,
CBS
it's
election
like-
headquarters in Times Square. Nora
Oh, yeah?
O'Donnell.
Yeah, I don't see the invite.
Good evening.
though.
The first presidential
Dude.
debate of the 2024 general election is just 1 hour away. This
Stressing
historic
me out
event
already,
between
man.
President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump is the first ever
We're doing
matchup
7-0?
between a sitting president
I
and
don't
his
know what that means, but
predecessor.
yes.
And it will also be the earliest
Oh,
presidential
yeah.
debate in U.S. history
Jared loves 7-0.
and feature the two oldest candidates to ever face off on the debate stage. The debate hosted by CNN will also be the first time either candidate
everybody's got an
has
invite.
been
I
on a
gotta pee.
debate stage since
F2.
2020.
I have to
If
do
you
that.
remember, 4 years ago, these candidates held two unforgettable debates leading up into the election, both filled with insults, interruptions, and a lack of civility. Well, a lot has happened since Biden and Trump last met. Biden was elected president. There was an assault on our nation's capital. The Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade, declaring the constitutional right to an abortion no longer exists. The wars between in Ukraine and Israel. And then nearly a month ago, Trump became the
Who the
first
hell
president,
is
current or former, ever to be convicted of a felony.
from-
We've got new reporting tonight.
It didn't
so
allow
let's
me to
go
have
right to
booty
our team
cabbage,
in
so
Atlanta.
that's
And
what
first
I
to
have
Chief White
now,
House
apparently.
correspondent Nancy Cordes. And Nancy,
Apparently booty's a
the
bad
Biden
word.
campaign, is it about like the 3 C's:
Well-
choice, contrast, and character tonight?
I don't
No
know.
question, Nora. He's got a high bar in front of him because
Brandon?
he needs to show to anybody who's watching in this
the
audience
picture
at
on there
home,
doesn't look like
around
you.
the country
it
that
does.
he's got the fire
It
in him
really
to go
captures
another
my
4
gray hair.
years. The president arrived here
How'd you
in
click-
Atlanta
how'd you
this
get a
afternoon.
person?
He was greeted by a
So
crowd
when
of
you're
supporters. He did
back
a
in the
little jog
lobby,
over
you
to
can go
them.
in the
He's
top
now
right.
at a
You can
downtown
customize
hotel
like how your
with the
cards
first lady
look,
who arrived
how your
separately
table
after doing
looks.
an event in Virginia. She will be at the
Avatars.
debate tonight. I was
In the
speaking
top
to
right?
a Biden aide
And no,
a short
Jared, you
time
can't
ago.
buy
He
it.
said that the president
I
is
saw
in
a
a good
store in
mood.
there.
He's well prepared.
Actually,
and
you
he said
probably
something
can.
interesting. He said that President Biden is not going to
Bad
shy away
idea.
tonight, Nora, from fact-checking Donald Trump. He fully expects that Trump will say things that are not true, and when that happens, he is going to point it out
Trump
when
will
it's his
say
turn to
things
speak,
that are
of
not
course.
true.
He'll talk
Okay.
about why he thinks it's untrue. He's not going to dwell on it. He'll then
Oh, you
pivot
listened
to
to the
his
thing?
message, but
Yeah.
he doesn't want to let it lie if Donald Trump says things, misrepresents his record, or says things about the state of the country that he thinks
Yeah,
are
everybody
false.
that's watching, we're
And Nancy
just
Cordes
drinking,
described for everyone where
chilling,
you are
and
right
playing some Uno, waiting for the debate to
I'm in the
start.
spin room. We are
be
across
a
the
fun
street
night,
from where
everybody.
this debate is going to be taking place. Remember that this is a debate without an audience, so that room is going to be pretty empty. It's going to have the debate moderators and the two candidates, and so everyone else is here in the spin room. There are a number of Biden surrogates who will be here to talk to reporters to tell us all about what a great job he has done, including California Governor Gavin Newsom
God.
and Amy Klobuchar,
Bill,
the senator
come on.
from Minnesota, and interestingly, Mary Trump, a relative of Donald Trump who has been critical of him for many years, but who is now coming out strongly in favor of Biden in one of the most public ways possible.
And that's why the dynamic will be so different inside. Nancy Cordes.
Your order is
thank you.
almost ready.
Let's
Making
check in
sure
now with Chief
everything-
Election campaign correspondent
What'd you
Carlos
get?
Costa. I
Chef's
know
kiss.
you've got some new
What?
reporting out of the Trump
What'd you get?
campaign. What have they been saying today?
It's a large pepperoni pizza with
Great to be with
3
you
Don't
things
worry.
of
here
extra
in
garlic
Atlanta.
from
It's
Papa
evident to me
John's.
talking to the Trump
Papi.
campaign that they want
Papa.
their candidate to stay
Come on,
cool
Will.
tonight.
Driver has
They
your
know that
order. They're
President
heading your
Biden
way.
is likely going to be
Rush
on the
me?
attack. So they're advising him
God damn
behind
it,
the
I am.
scenes. They're saying, look, this is a 90-minute marathon.
Why does it say chef's
Keep
kiss
your
on
cool.
here?
Yes, you can defend
Weird.
yourself
I
on
mean,
All
just
right,
spin
Jerry,
the
you're my
suits
in that
partner. I
criminal
swear
conviction
to
in
God,
New York,
if you
President
fuck
Biden
this
brings it
up.
up,
I didn't know how to
but
play
turn
that.
the
Why'd
attention
you do that?
back to the economy.
We're on
back
team.
to
Doing
the
partners.
immigration
I'm just
issue
kidding.
and border security. Talk about
Ooh,
trade.
my God.
Those are the issues they believe former President Trump
No,
will be
he knows
able
how to play
put
Uno, he
together
just doesn't know how to
a real
read.
victory on the electoral map
Why would
Come
you
November,
do
as for
that?
President Biden,
That was the
let's
dumbest
keep
thing
hearing
you could have
from his
done.
aides, it's not about
I had
aid,
nothing.
it's Nancy to build on her great
You
reporting.
fucking
It's about the economy
have
and
a green card,
democracy.
you
Look for him to try to get under former
Oh, yeah,
President
you're right. I
Trump's
didn't see
skin,
that.
I'm told, talking about January
Damn
6th
it.
in that criminal
Jack, he is a
investigation.
green
It's
plus
interesting, though,
2.
Nora,
Be careful.
there's a lot of spin going on here inside the so-called
You made it
spin
blue.
room. But I took a walk around downtown
Reverse,
Atlanta. A lot of people
reverse.
feeling inflationary
Jared, do you not
pain.
look at your
They're feeling
cards?
pain about the
Like, do I have to
economy,
read
about where
you
their
your
lives
fucking cards?
at this moment.
can.
Georgia's now a swing
Like,
state.
holy
And the
shit.
campaigns know that. With all
Not
the
gonna help
spin,
you at
with all
all.
the theater tonight, it comes down to
I
kitchen
feel
table
bad for
issues,
whoever's
how
teamed
people
up with
feel
Jared next.
in their
Why
lives.
are we playing this stupid
It's an
ass
important
game?
point. The pocketbook issues always
What
matter.
happened?
Robert Costa.
You have to
thank
choose who you want to
so
swap
much.
Hurry
hands
up,
This
with.
Jared.
debate could mark a
Pick.
turning point in the race.
You don't
for
know, just pick
president.
someone
I
for
wanna
you.
thank Chief
Why
Political
That's really
Analyst
funny.
John
Me.
Dickerson and John.
didn't pick you, I
We've
just
covered a
picked
lot
you,
of these
automatically.
debates and
And I
momentous
felt it was the
occasions
safest
together.
bet.
This is
Oh my
early,
God.
and the Biden
We
team
got pretty
wanted
good
an early
shit.
debate.
They did. They wanted to be a choice between two candidates, not a
Are you
referendum on the
fucking
incumbent.
kidding me? I
When
got
you've
the
got a race
worst
that's this
teammate
tight,
in Uno history.
Anything could
You were
end
gonna
one
do
way or the
good.
other. We
Watch.
know,
You wait.
tonight may end and
You
it might
wait.
not
Watch.
change
I
the
got
state of the
this
race.
shit patent.
But when it's this tight, you can't leave anything to chance, which is why the president has spent many days working on this campaign.
I'm excited. I want to see what he
A couple of
does.
things that strike me about this campaign, or this debate, I should say. We know more about these two candidates and their records under pressure than any candidates who've ever debated before. So there are not going to be any reinventions tonight. But the candidates can reframe their records in a way that might speak to voters in a new way, particularly that question on the economy. And then you have the question of performance. Voters want to take the measure themselves with their own two eyes about the questions of age and temperament. Then finally, this question, Nora. When one candidate centers their campaign on a lie, Donald Trump saying that the election was stolen from him, how do you have a debate where the point of the debate is to measure whether candidates see things clearly
I'm about to get
and whether
fucked.
their solutions are not deceptive or delusional?
Okay.
John Dickerson,
Oh,
nobody
I'm
does it better
done.
than you
It's
in setting
over.
up, of course,
Bye.
what we'll be
Nah,
watching
it's
tonight.
fine.
And
Dude,
this
he's about to
day.
hit me with a
As John was saying,
draw
the debate, this is
18.
not going to be like one we're
Plus 10.
used to, because this is the first time
I
in
got
more
you.
than
That's
35
gotta know
years that a
anything.
televised
Brandon.
general election presidential debate
Nice
between
Uno,
the two
Brennan.
leading candidates has not been sponsored by the Commission on Presidential
Yeah, I don't know if I
Debates.
would've
It is
done that
airing
one.
on CNN and the network, and
Hey,
both
brother,
candidates
hit it.
Hey, that worked in
agreed
my favor.
to the
Zach.
following rules. The
Is-
debate will run 90 minutes with 2 breaks. Candidates may not discuss the debate with anyone during breaks. There will be no opening statements. Each man's
Yo, do
mic
you
will
hear
be muted
these,
when it's not his turn to speak.
I don't have a turn.
Guidelines?
Biden and Trump get 2 minutes for answers.
Two breaks.
1 minute long, and then
They had to put
a
breaks in the
response.
debate?
One of
Yeah,
the
dude,
biggest
this is
changes,
crazy.
No audience, Gail, and I
When you
think
say
that will
breaks,
change
what do you
things,
mean?
especially I think for Trump.
On both sides.
Like
Yeah.
pot.
I also
The,
think it's
Uno
interesting that they're gonna use the
motherfuckers.
like
breaks
if
to
not,
see how
I
that's gonna
guarantee you
work,
it's not like
because
commercial
2
breaks.
minutes can
I
be
bet it's
either
like
a very
we have to
long
sit down
time
and
or it can be a very short time depending
drink some
on
water.
how it's going. We shall all see
I
tonight. I've
swear,
been
I
excited
think
about
this
all day.
this
More of you?
is probably
I've been
going to be
looking
the
forward to being
craziest
here,
debate
sitting here
I've
with all
ever
of us
seen in
sitting
my
and
life.
discussing. I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm very
I hope
excited.
so.
Agreed.
You may remember back in
pussy.
2020, we all remember this. The debates were full of interruptions and arguments, and the
I skipped
moderators had
again?
trouble reining in the candidates. One count, there
You
were
skipped once.
145 interruptions on the part of Donald Trump. We'll see. A
Dang.
coin flip determined lectern placement and order of closing statements. The Biden campaign chose to stand the president at the right lectern. So when you're looking at your screen tonight, he'll be on the right.
Damn.
Trump's campaign
Dang.
then chose for the former president
Oh,
to
no.
have the final word. I was wondering about that choice, Nora, because I've always thought during a trial, you
Hurry
always
up,
want to be
motherfucker.
the last one
All right.
to have the closing say.
Right.
Cool.
Were you surprised that he made that choice?
I was.
Got it at the
I
last
was, and maybe
second.
we'll find out tonight.
Do it with
what the
Jared.
strategy
Do it with
is
Jared. What color do you think
behind
Jared
I'd be
has?
curious to hear what you have to say about that, John
Got
Dickerson.
yellow.
Use a
Well,
7.
one of the
Give
things
a
that
7.
at
You
least
can take
we know
his
about
deck.
Ron Klain, who helped to debate prep former chief
kinda
of staff
forgot
of
we
Biden,
did that, I'm
debate
not gonna
prep for
lie.
him. One of the things they learned in the,
It's okay.
in the Obama years, because he helped Obama, is that impressions lock in quickly.
Yeah.
So it's not the closing
Don't
statements
take
you
my
want to
deck,
be
Jared.
good and solid on. You want
Just
to be good
okay,
and
take
solid
for a
right
minute.
away at the beginning for 2 reasons. Voters make impressions and they lock them in.
Just change
Also,
it, yeah.
Okay.
social
Or
media,
just
this is going to
take
be
my
talked about
fucking deck.
on our coverage, but then also out in the ether. People will start sending around their impressions. You
Are
want to
you
make the good
kidding me?
first impression.
But does it
I don't
matter if
want
you're
them
on the
to
right or the
win.
left where you're standing?
Why
Does that
would you
matter?
do
That's what
that?
That's what I'm hungry
You
for.
got
We'll
two
see
good cards
once we
coming.
see them
Look
out
at that.
there,
They
it
look
may
great.
become obvious.
Yeah, fantastic.
Wanna
I
bring in
can't
Face
use
the Nation
them.
Moderator
Yes, you
Margaret
can.
Brennan, and
Not
What does Brandon not have?
tonight will be some of the chief contrast points.
Those
Moving
are
up to rights.
golden.
That'll definitely be one of the issues that is central in this campaign, but it's one that
You
frankly,
dropped
Joe
the ball
Biden,
on
the
that one,
president,
dude.
is not very much
You put on this
saying he
stuff.
frames
Well,
it
I thought we were
as
done with the
reproductive
7 and
health care.
0s.
He may lean into that language
Fucking
rather than
loser.
the issue of abortion itself. Donald Trump has also
That-
tried to
y'all were
make a
hating, but I knew what I was
strategic
doing.
decision to neutralize the
I
political
got to play for half a
I
second.
quit out of
abortion
the
issue and said it's
game.
an issue for states and not necessarily
Wow.
at the federal level. But one
Didn't
thing that I'm
mean to.
watching here is we have two
Can you invite
commanders
him
in
back in?
chief, people with job experience standing up there.
I'm trying.
And they're going to be arguing, as Donald Trump has again and again, I'm the man to keep you out of the next
I don't think
war.
it'll let me.
And Joe Biden is
Well,
standing up there
guess
very
we'll quit.
proud of his foreign policy record,
My
saying, I'm the guy
bad.
who has kept you out of that. And I'm keeping this Western alliance together with scotch tape and duct tape at this point. But this is my chief sign. Judge me on that ability so far to navigate an incredibly complex threat environment the United States is facing at a time when the U.S. is no longer the only superpower. So when we talk about going back
Another
to the
beer.
way it was, we are just facing completely new set of challenges. And
Oh, new
incredibly
items,
full
new
inbox
visual
for this
effects.
Commander-in-Chief, Nora.
Wow.
And that's one of the things I think voters need to keep in mind as you hear discussion of all these national security issues, whether it's the border, whether it's China, something directionally they agree on, or whether it's the threat from Russia or other adversaries.
Yeah, the foreign policy, I think, will be really interesting tonight as well. Margaret Brennan, let's bring in Ed O'Keefe. You cover the White House, and you're there a lot. I mean, this is a tough moment for President Biden. That campaign, that White House, believe that he's accomplished a lot legislatively, that he's brought inflation down, even though people are still hurting. And yet, what they think, right, is that their accomplishments are not resonating with voters.
They aren't, if you look at our polling. And I thought it was interesting in the poll we released yesterday, the level of apprehension and concern and pressure on the president to perform well from Democrats tonight. Talking to them across the country, there's a lot of nervousness, anxiousness about what he needs to do. Some believe he should, quickly answer his questions and throw it back to the former president, say, force him to fill the time with answers that demonstrate that perhaps he's not that substantive and that many of his ideas are nutty. Others have said that, the strategy tonight, as they've been told by those that were preparing the president, is that the president plans to appeal to the American people while Trump is more likely to be focused on his base. And I think to Gail's point about camera angles and whatnot, that is a huge factor tonight. Can these two sustain themselves over 90 minutes? What do we learn later happened during those commercial breaks? Will either of them stumble either early on or later on?
Right.
And remember, those first 20 minutes, and this is the case no matter the debate, those first 20 minutes really can encapsulate how this is perceived around the world and among those voters who may yet still be undecided.
Can both of them sustain 90 minutes
So
standing?
just so you know, now that we're in it, zero
Should they stand or
changes
should they
everybody's
sit?
hand
That'll
around.
be interesting to see.
If you put 7 down, you choose who you want to switch their hand with. So, like, if you throw down a 7, you get to pick who
It
you
is so
steal
interesting
hand.
because as
Whose
we talk
hand it
about
is,
all this,
whatever.
the candidates
Okay.
did prepare so differently. They are so different in many ways. So let's go back to
I
Nancy
don't know about
Pelosi
anything
in
else.
Atlanta. And Nancy, we haven't seen
What do you
President
mean?
Biden
That's
in
not my
a
go. Me,
week.
bro.
He's clearly
Will,
understands
you're-
the importance of this moment, and they really do want to change the trajectory of this
We'll be
country.
all
Yeah, it's me and Zach and you and Will.
Right.
You're
They
all right.
made no bones about the fact that they were taking this seriously. He was out of sight for almost a week.
So zero
At
does
Camp
what
David
again?
with more than a dozen of his
That switches
top
everybody's hands
advisors.
around.
They had a
Like this.
7 you
makeshift
can
stage
choose.
No,
with
but-
podiums in a
Yeah.
airplane hangar.
Son of a
with
bitch. Who had
his
this hand? This
longtime
is
lawyer,
terrible.
Damn, Jared, you had a
playing
good
stuff,
hand, dude.
Going on the
I
attack
know.
just to get
That's why Will
comfortable with
drew
that
so many cards. He
experience.
knew he was
They
going
know
to
that
switch
there's
with
a
somebody.
common fate
Fucking
that
cocksucking
tends to
bitch.
afflict first-term presidents.
I
When
go.
they get into that first
You just
debate,
canceled out
they
your own.
tend to do pretty poorly.
I was just trying to get rid of all
Partly
the
because
fucking
they're
random
busy,
shit.
they've got a day job, they don't have that much time to
got
prepare.
a lot
but
of
also
dumb shit in here,
because
buddy.
they get a little complacent. They say, I deal with these issues every day. Why do I
Complacent.
need to bone up? That's certainly what happened to Barack Obama back in 2012.
I'm
and he had
listening
to
to the
course
stream
correct
now,
pretty
bro.
quickly. They realize that that's a common pitfall,
Yeah,
and they didn't want to
I
fall
know.
into it this time.
They said Biden's more likely to appeal to Americans, while
Complacent, I
Trump
should
just
say, or
appeals
even
to his
cocky,
fan
because
base.
You are the commander-in-chief. That sometimes is an affliction.
I can't believe it.
that
dude.
happens too
It's-
when you're the
it's like-
president of the United
like,
States.
what do you
I want to
mean?
bring in Robert Costa. And Donald Trump, as usual, prepares very differently for these things.
You know what
He
not
looks
on right
like
now,
he
Brennan.
believes he was born
What?
to debate.
Do the 7 and switch with me.
Nora, I had a little bit of
Is
fun
the
here in the spin room about
debate
an hour
going on
ago.
right
I
now?
went around to some Trump allies and advisors.
Well, I
and said,
mean,
how's
they're
debate
like
prep
setting
going?
up for it.
And they,
Starts at
to a
9.
T, kept saying, well, former President Trump does not prep for debates. They're sensitive about it because, to your point, former President Trump likes to cast himself as someone who's a public figure for 50 years with all of his business experience going back to the 1970s, and he's not someone who likes to act like he's ever prepping, but he is prepping for this debate. He's had informal policy conversations with senators, a lot of talk about his age, but it's really about his temperament more than his positions. That's what a lot of the deliberation behind the scenes has been about.
All right, Robert Costa, thank you for your reporting as well. And coming up, our new CBS News polling will break down what voters want to hear about
wow, I went from Uno to 10 cards.
Damn. Thank you. I didn't have any blues anyway.
Coming up, our
How wide you
series.
going?
Wait a minute. Tom, is that you working the camera?
Keep leaning out of your close-up.
Your morning routine just got better. CBS Mornings, weekdays at 7.
I had progressively fallen deeper into the world of online sports betting.
The risk is the rush. What do you think is driving the spike in
Zach, you motherfucker.
If it's legal, I'm gonna use it. There are ways to
part of the game, apparently.
We've created an epidemic of child gambling.
You can't walk into a male
You're a
dormitory
slut.
in a college campus without sports betting happening.
It's America's most neglected problem.
I used sports betting as a way to escape, when in reality I'm choosing self-destruction.
What does it bring on Bluetooth?
Whatever I had left, it was gone.
The purpose of the industry is to get you
Honestly, I
to
can't
play
remember.
to extinction.
Oh my
That means
goodness.
until all
I hope
your
it's not a
money
red
is gone.
tooth.
It is.
Pause.
Go to the ends of the
keep going, mate.
Reach for the
I didn't say to play that. This game sucks.
It makes you play the next thing.
There's always something new under the sun.
no fucking
on
game about
CBS
that.
Sunday morning.
I guess a lot of the rules don't make sense.
An original documentary from CBS reports.
That desired farm is a wonderful place to raise children, and it still is.
Promises broken.
Black Americans have been the target of racism and discrimination pretty much from the time they acquired ownership in the land.
Hell yeah.
Costing black farmers hundreds of billions in generational wealth.
What the hell am I watching?
Everything to
Shite.
make sure we were
Oh,
run
shit.
off
Where'd the
that
game go?
land.
Slaves.
My bad. Are uniting to continue the fight.
Slaves built this city.
To keep their land.
No.
Built this city on fire camera.
To land is power.
You sure you don't want me to, Mr. Fucking no red ass?
Free CBS News app.
People with developmental disabilities were once sequestered by the hundreds of thousands in institutions.
Many of our fellow citizens are suffering tremendous.
Bro, use that to still keep it red.
You don't get to pick, I guess.
Disability activists have
That's
since
funny.
torn down
That's why.
barriers blocking them from living at home or in the community.
We conclude that
Hell yeah.
Title II
Oh,
of
that's
the
not bad.
ADA requires states to provide community-based treatment for persons with mental
It's so mean, dude.
disabilities.
But of the 16,000
It's only been
people
like
who
4
remain in
turns.
state-operated institutions,
I'll
half
take
are
it.
in 5 states, and Illinois
Fucking
is one
hell,
of
these
them.
aren't the
I
worst.
don't want to live in the
Alright, I'm
institution.
done.
It makes
Oh
me
my
feel
God.
discriminated against.
Do you think there are people living in
What the fuck?
institutions in
Why didn't it do
Illinois
it?
that don't need
You know how many
to be
times I clicked the number 2?
they're
It said
proving
you
it
want
as
to
soon as
jump
they
in
get
your
out.
number 2.
He's got 2 yellows.
Doesn't matter anyways. You got like 15 sevens.
Give me that shit back. Don't ever do that again.
Good evening. The television and radio stations of the United
It's okay.
States and their affiliated
I still have another
stations
7, so
are
it's
proud
fine.
to provide facilities for a
Hey,
discussion
we'll come
of
back.
issues in the current political campaign by the 2 major candidates for the presidency. The candidate
Look at that. That was the first ever televised presidential debate in 1960. It was hosted by CBS with moderators from all the networks and was the last time there was no audience at
don't
a
let it be yellow.
presidential debate. Welcome back to CBS News, and tonight we will hear the presidential candidates discuss the direction of America and the issues that matter most. This is arguably the most important debate since that 1960 debate, and we should note
Terrible.
also that
I
there's
know,
been little
Brandon's
movement
terrible.
in the polls between President Biden and Donald Trump. Could this debate change the trajectory? Let's bring in our polling director, Anthony Salvanto. And I know, Anthony, you have new polling out tonight. What are we learning?
I do. And one word for this race, Nora, like you said, it's close. Look, this is the national number. That's well
Ain't
within
nobody
the margin
letting
of
me
error.
play.
This is effectively tied. But what matters, to remind everybody,
Really?
are what we call the battleground
Give me that
states, the
fucking
closest
deck.
states, the ones that will
You can have
decide
it.
this.
That
I'm
shit
going to show
sucks.
you a string of those. And this is just even race after even race. Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, all states Joe Biden won last time, but we're close. North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. That is your story for
You're gonna have to
context,
draw again,
but
Will.
the question is why, and what do people want to
You
know?
need.
So watch this. Democrats will
Hey,
say they
fuck it.
want
No,
Joe
this motherfucker's
Biden tonight
colorblind.
to take a more forceful tone. Why is that? Well, Ed mentioned earlier about that
What are they talking
apprehension.
about?
Let me show you this. Among Joe Biden's supporters, their top reason for voting for
Draw
Biden
it, too.
is
I hate
they
how you
say to
can't move
oppose
after you have
Donald
to
Trump.
draw.
So I think you'll see Joe Biden tonight try to make this about Donald
What'd you
Trump
say, Will?
because he does better when people think it's a referendum on Donald Trump. But Trump,
Main
for
reason
his
for
part,
supporting
let me show you
Biden.
this. He's
Oh, new
advanced
item. 54% to oppose
the
Trump.
economy under him well. So
More
take
than
a
half
look
of the
at
people that like Biden is
what
just because they
people
don't like
think they would
Trump.
be
That's
I
it.
feel like
better
that's just a
with
lie.
Donald Trump
Like
as
that shit's
president.
It's
fucking
gotta
Joe
be,
stupid.
dude.
Biden
There's
wins.
just-
So you expect
there's
Donald
no
Trump
way.
to press that
There's no-
advantage
yeah, there's
as
no
well.
way these people are
And
dumb
so
enough to
what does
fucking do
that mean?
Biden
That means
again.
Republicans tonight say they
No,
want
they
Donald Trump
are.
to take a more
Trust me, there are
polite tone.
plenty
They
of
know
people
he's
I've
got
talked
the
to who are
base,
just-
but he's got that overall edge on the
There's some of my
economy.
family,
Final
too, is the
point,
worst
Nora.
part.
We asked people,
It's just
could you learn anything tonight that
well-off
you think
people.
could change your mind?
Yeah.
And it's 11%.
Well-off
who
people
say
that
they
don't feel
definitely could.
the
That's
inflation.
not a big number, but it comes back to that idea of close, Nora.
Really interesting, Anthony Salvanto.
67%
Thank you so
won't
much.
change
We
their
also
mind.
learned from
That's how
Anthony's
close-minded
polling
people are.
the importance
I know,
of
it's
abortion
crazy.
rights or
Idiots.
reproductive rights. And Margaret,
They could
just
sit up there and
today,
watch Biden have a stroke and they'd be
ruling
like,
from
hell
the Supreme
yeah,
Court about
Biden.
Idaho.
That's
Watch him
my
fall off his bike
president.
again and be like,
Has
look
a
at him
near
go,
total
fucking
ban
athletic.
Where they've lost 20%
Look at him
of
take
their
that fall like a man.
OBGYNs because
You can
doctors
sniff that
there
child
are concerned
again?
about being
Man.
prosecuted
Sniff that
for,
child again,
for
yeah.
providing health care.
You know how many times
essentially
I've
to
watched
women
him
who may be
like,
having a
there's
miscarriage.
there's compilations
How
on
do you see
iFunny of
this
him just sniffing
playing out
children, and the
tonight
fact that there's
on
enough
stage
videos of that
and as voters go to the polls?
tells me
And that
everything I
brings
need
us
to
back
know.
that Supreme Court decision that
Biden
sent
sniffer.
the issue back to the states. And Donald Trump is
Biden
likely
sniffer.
going
I don't
to
think
say
there's
that's
any
where it
Biden
needs to
sniffers
stay
out there. I
and
think
try
he's
not
just
to
a
engage on some of the substance that you just laid out in these
Nobody's
tough
smelling that
decisions,
fucking old magazine.
that come down to, is it health care that is life-saving or not in that specific case?
And can I just say why I think that's interesting too? Because then shouldn't Joe Biden make the argument, oh, well, I sued Idaho to protect the rights of women
And
who are
won.
in a dire medical situation. Would you not, Donald Trump, have challenged the state of Idaho to protect women?
And it'll be really interesting to see how much he engages on
No,
this. But
you leave it up to the states,
Joe
you
Biden, as
fucking
president,
mongoloid.
rarely discusses the issue of abortion. And he has said,
I'll go
I'm
debate
just
Trump.
not
I
big
mean,
on
Biden
it,
right
was
now.
one of his quotes.
I'd debate
Some of
Trump
this
too.
has to do with his religious conviction. But to your point,
Would it be like the worst
this
thing
is
ever to have a
something
president
that is
that's
going
not
to be a political force,
over
no
the
matter
age
how
of
comfortable it is.
70?
This is an uncomfortable topic,
Yeah, no
period,
shit.
to talk about.
I say we just
But we know that
we
in
just
the
get a president that's
midterms,
like
abortion
10 years
was
old.
a
Give me a
driving
red.
force in those races in a way that
I mean, like, he doesn't need to
Democrats,
be
they held on
that
to,
young, but
the
like,
Senate,
still,
if you
just not
remember.
fucking.
The
Hey,
party is
Jared,
hoping that when it
switch
comes to
with
the
me,
presidential
dog.
race,
I know you
it'll
want to switch
also
with me.
benefit Joe Biden,
Not a
that it
shot.
will drive up turnout. And
Not
we
a
want to show you some
shot in
graphics here. The
hell.
majority of Americans, 60%,
It won't let me reach
according
all
to
the way
CBS
over.
polling, believe abortion should be legal
There we
in
go.
all or most cases.
Oh, two.
And in a
Nice
tight
calling Una
race, that
hard.
enthusiasm for an
I clicked
issue
it
may
15
be
times.
persuasive for a
Did you
voter
not hear
who
me?
otherwise
I
might
was
not
fucking
be
banging that
super
shit.
enthusiastic about the
Finger
candidate
banging that
herself.
thing.
Game is so
And Democrats
fucking
are looking
stupid.
at 11 states this fall. They're on your screen where the issue of
Bubba's
abortion
mad at me
access
'cause
will
I'm
literally
making
be
too
on
much
the
noise.
ballot as a
Who
standalone
cares about
issue.
abortion? It's 2024.
And it includes
Stop.
battlegrounds like
You
Arizona
fix the
and
economy.
Nevada. And this
Sorry,
single
Bubba.
issue could make a difference. Now, the Trump campaign has tried to neutralize the political force by
Why don't we just
arguing, as we
give
were
out
just
free
talking
coat
about,
hangers?
The Supreme Court sent it back to the states to decide on legality, and that
but-
there shouldn't be a
Brian,
federal
I'm gonna need you to
policy.
like
But that
do
frustration
something about
has
this.
frustrated some of the
You
religious
see
conservatives
my
in the
cards.
Republican
What
Party
can I
who
do?
want Donald Trump to attempt a national ban or restrictions. Joe Biden's campaign has just tried to harness the political power by arguing that it was Trump who put the Supreme Supreme Court justices on that court that struck
Look
down
at Jared's
Roe versus
face.
Wade, and that reproductive health care of all types, IVF, access to birth control, all of it's under threat if Trump
Uh-oh.
is reelected. Now, that's a message, though, where you would be more likely to hear
I
from
guess
Vice
we know what
President
color he
Harris
has.
if she was on that stage.
I don't know
She's
what
for
to
the
have done,
campaign.
honestly.
You will perhaps hear
It's just gonna
reproductive
make you
health
draw
care from
that.
Joe Biden.
Oh.
He may avoid discussing abortion directly.
Bitch.
Now,
I'll
one
keep
of the
the
things
game
that we
going
also
for you.
see
No, you
in our
fuck it,
polling
no.
here
God
is
damn,
What?
that
that.
abortion
That's
access
How'd you do that?
it is important
That
as a
was
galvanizing force,
fucking gay.
but it ranks
That was
lower than the
gay.
economy, lower than inflation.
I'd rather
lower
just
than the
lose.
border,
Yeah,
lower
bro,
than
why don't you
state
seven
democracy,
take his
and lower
card?
than guns.
fucking pity
so
shit.
It is a galvanizing force, but it is not everything here.
I would say, Nora, being on the road in Arizona.
That's on you,
in
bro.
the last
You
few
kept the
months,
game
I've heard
going.
from
You couldn't.
On
liberal and
me.
Democratic activists in that state who see these polls
Not
that
up
show
to me.
Trump ahead, maybe 1 or 2 points, and they say, no, don't worry about it. We have more volunteers than we know what to do with, who are willing to work with us.
Now I feel like I have to
knocking
do
on
this
doors
because
and
it's-
getting people to vote on the abortion
Okay.
issue specifically. They're turning in the petition ballot.
It doesn't even give me the
petition
chance to even hit
signatures
Uno. It
next
just
week
said,
to get
okay,
the
we're playing
issue
this
on the ballot
card.
Officially, they expect
Got
it
it.
to pass overwhelmingly and to help drive support. And that in Arizona, in Nevada, to some extent in Florida,
Don't you
although the
fucking
Biden
dare.
campaign doesn't consider it a battleground.
Damn it.
Continue across the country.
God
confidence in the
damn it.
Democrats that they will get the voters they need in a pinch over that issue.
And you often hear, though, that people will vote with their pocketbooks, which means your
no.
money and your wallet.
do that
Whether you
shit
have it,
pick
whether you
perfect.
don't have it, everybody wants it.
Brian.
That's why the economy really matters.
That was the
That's one of
dumbest
the main
thing you
issue
heard.
for voters. CBS News found while wage growth outpaces inflation, it does so just barely, which is partly why people say
You
they don't
don't
feel good
pick
about
that.
this
No.
economy, despite the numbers. Senior business and technology correspondent, there she is, Jolene Kent, joins us now. Jolene, help us understand this.
It's not letting
because
me pick
the
it.
numbers show that the economy
Do
is
it.
well, but that is not how people feel.
Oh my God,
that?
dude! It wouldn't let me reach it.
Exactly. The numbers are very strong mostly. If you take a look at what we've seen so far, if you invest in the stock market, now not everyone does, the S&P 500 is up 16% year to date. We're still sitting at these historically low
Brandon,
unemployment numbers at
change
about
the blue.
4%.
Change the blue.
We saw the Dow closing at another 1-month high.
Jared saved me
Of course,
because he had red
inflation,
plus twos,
Yeah,
dude.
I had
inflation
2 plus
has
2s
cooled
and-
off from its
Now we can't do
9%
it.
peak, and we're down now at
had red plus twos, dude.
3.3%. So overall, the numbers are strong. You've seen
that's
these
fine.
hot
Yeah,
jobs
that's fine.
reports
Oh,
that
that's
we've been
retarded.
reporting on, and so all of the numbers
That's not
seem to
good.
point to things going in the right direction, but not everyone's feeling that
That's
when you just
retarded.
dig a little bit deeper, Gail.
So do you think that the Biden administration needs to do a
Gail.
better job on its messaging? Because they certainly tell us that, but people still don't get
Yeah,
that
they do.
message.
Yeah, it's interesting. I spoke to a voter in
That
Minnesota
doesn't stack.
today, an independent voter who's really on the fence. She voted
That
for
stacks.
Obama in 2008, and she voted for Trump in 2020.
Won't that be 6,
and
though?
she basically says for her it comes
can't
down
stack
to
it when
how
you
she's
jump
paying
in.
at the grocery store, among other
What do you
I didn't know
issues.
it
The
does
economy is
that.
When you
really
jump in, it
important.
doesn't
If you
stack.
take
It
a
just
look at
jumps in.
Our Money Watch
Well, what the
price
fuck is the
tracker,
point?
You can see why
telling you,
she's
dude, this game
feeling
is
that
fucking
pinch. She's
stupid.
got 4 kids. She lives in Plymouth, Minnesota.
Grocery
A
cost
dozen
increase
eggs,
since
double
2019,
the price
98%,
compared to
a dozen of eggs.
pre-pandemic levels. Of course, that was when President Trump was in office. A loaf of bread up 50%, a pound of coffee up
I can't even tell you how much
40%.
eggs are right now. I don't think I
Gas,
bought
of
eggs in
course,
like.
you feel that.
I don't remember the last time I bought
30%.
eggs.
Now,
She
when
just
you
tried to
look at
blame
just
the cost of
President
eggs on
Biden's
Trump.
term in office so far,
She said they went up because of
inflation
the
is
pandemic.
indeed up 20%,
Hmm.
and that's where we see,
Right.
even though wage growth does outpace inflation.
Well, there's
it's
also
not
a farm
by
that
very
just burnt
much.
down with, like-
And then if you pivot and you take a look at
Trump's
the
fault.
housing market,
Yeah.
Trump did it.
overall housing prices
Trump's fault.
far
Yeah, I keep
outpace
forgetting
wage growth.
about
Took the gas can
That's
over
feeling
there.
a lot of
Stupid,
frustration
bro.
as
I
well. They want to
can't
buy a house. Interest rates continue to be high, and
I
you've
can't
got
believe
maybe
this is
one
on
rate
Like,
cut
CNN.
how are we
on the
being
table
gaslit?
from the
Like,
Fed. We'll see.
they said
All right,
Biden needs
Jolene.
to,
Thank
his
you very much.
campaign needs to be
While we're
better
at
at
it, the
telling
cost
the
of
American
batteries
people
are
that
up, too.
they're not actually doing that bad. I'm like,
AAA batteries, they're up.
okay.
It's a little annoying.
I know. We eat a lot of eggs in my house.
Make
I
more than I ever
watch
have.
that, so I
That's
noticed
crazy.
that as well, Gil. All right. When we come back, we'll look
Watching
at
it
what
just, like-
lessons the candidates may have
It's hard to
learned
watch
from
it
that
anymore.
last presidential debate.
And
Remember
honestly,
those
glad I
debates
draw that
in
for one.
2020? They were hot. You're watching
I just want to
CBS
see
News.
Trump whip it out.
I wish, dude.
Did anybody see that I just got skipped right there? And
No.
all Will did was put down a 1.
No, I didn't see.
No, I jumped in, so it skipped over you. You were too.
I didn't see it either. I'm sorry.
What the fuck is this?
Who's the fucking bootlicker that just gave me a 4?
That Luke
Will,
Baker.
you have so many cards over there. What are you doing?
Oh,
Tony has a
oh, it didn't let me jump in. I hit the wrong button.
This is unbelievable knack to ask the question that you're asking.
Take my deck.
I've been told I could talk to a
I don't
tree.
know.
That's
I
pretty
don't know
much
that
true.
shit.
Good luck,
I
buddy.
go to work in the morning. I go
Oh
for
yeah,
coffee
this
with my
is
two
easy
good
deck.
friends, and we talk about the
Easy
world.
win.
Morning routine.
Take my
Just
deck.
got better.
Take my deck.
CBS Mornings, weekdays
Have fun,
at
Zach.
7.
Yeah, I'll
Take
take
my
it
deck.
right back though.
It didn't seem like
Take my
anything
deck.
could
Thank you, though.
happen.
That's exactly what I was expecting to happen. I'm not gonna lie.
happens in East Palestine.
Take my
Then
deck.
I got to go again, so I can do this.
But it did.
Oh,
Thank God I get to go again because I can do
That was
this.
smart, Zach.
Authorities released
Oh.
toxic
Got rid of
fumes
3
from
cards.
the railroad
Thank you
train
very
cars.
much, Will. You fucking piece of shit.
I got rid of 4 cards right there.
Bronchitis due to chemical fumes.
Did you ever have these problems before the derailment?
No, ma'am.
This neighborhood's not safe no
Oh,
more.
that,
We can
that,
assure the community that there's not vinyl chloride entering their
that's
communities.
fantastic.
Why are there
Funny,
so
I looked
many
at your
people
deck and I don't even
feeling
remember
these
what cards you had.
symptoms of bloody noses or
I had it for a hot
dehydrated
sec.
bronchitis?
Yeah, remember we just switched for a second?
Question to answer.
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
supposed to look at it and I didn't even fucking look at it.
Yeah, I don't have a clue what you had. I just saw the 7 and I was like, oh yeah, he's
We've
low.
seen in America.
I'll tell you what he has.
I feel like now I have a duty to warn other
What the
communities.
fuck is
If my
going
daughter
on?
has to watch me
Can I
die of
not
cancer,
put a card
at least
down?
it saves
Well, because you
someone
waited too long, it's just gonna keep drawing until it
Bro,
picks
I was
the thing.
clicking the fucking shit out of this
God damn, Jared, draw the whole fucking deck.
thing. No shit, dude. I
You didn't even lay down a card.
Dude, I clicked. You know how many times I clicked the fucking yellow card I have? Jesus Christ.
Damn, that thing pity drew us.
Shit's buggy, dude.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
Oh, you were
Here
laughing
we
at
go.
him. Oh
Here
no.
we go. There are no more yellows. Yep, there's a yellow.
John Grisham.
Fine, we're never gonna let Zach play.
It's fine.
48 hours. Now streaming on the free CBS News.
Hey, Jared, I got you.
Why didn't it let me jump in?
Stories that inform.
I jumped in quicker.
really old at 60.
It didn't even give me an
You can
option.
be really young at 85.
Inspire.
Did it let you
How do
pick?
we unlock the
It wasn't for a
power
second?
within ourselves to
Yeah.
be who we wanna be.
You get nervous.
Brighten your day.
The best part of fame is making people feel good. Always send the people home happy.
Make every day
It does
a
it on
little
like the
more like
fucking
Sunday
second or
morning.
third click.
Here comes the sun.
Stream now
Are you using
on the
keyboard and
free
mouse or
CBS
controller?
News app.
Mouse.
Oh God.
That's the only way I can do it. I tried controller earlier and it was just complete garbage.
Sightseers in space. The thrill of a lifetime.
Mouse is so easy.
From space, it was so exhilarating.
Yeah, mouse is easy.
I mean,
Mouse.
controller.
4 fatal accidents. That's a
Well,
1%.
The controller didn't work for me.
Look before you launch. If you had 1 out of 100
It's about to have
falling out of the sky, would
the
it
latest
become
head bag.
crisis? Space tours
Dude,
are
it
now
it's
streaming
not
on the
working.
free CBS News
It's
app.
kind of pissing me off.
What the fuck is going
What's
on?
not working?
But when I click on it, it's not doing anything.
Y'all are just struggling, dude.
The issue
It really is a
the
struggle.
American people
It looked
should
like it
speak.
worked
gave
that
away a
goddamn
bullshit
time.
And vote.
Yeah.
You're
Hit him with the
voting
+4,
now.
bro.
Yep.
Vote and let your senators know how strongly you feel. Vote now. Make sure you
Okay,
in fact
I don't think I've
let
gone in like
people
fucking
know
5
you're
turns, but you
senators.
know,
I'm not
we're
gonna
still
answer the
here.
question.
Be alright. I still got
Don't
11
Brandon.
cards.
Don't Brandon. Don't Brandon.
That's fine. You didn't have to.
This
Who's
is
on your
so,
list? Gentlemen, I think
this
we've
is
ended
so
this.
unprecedented.
We have ended,
Sorry,
no,
bud.
Give a list.
we have ended this segment. We're going to move on to the second segment.
That was really a productive segment, wasn't it? Keep
Whoa.
yapping, man. The people understand, Joe. They should.
That was crazy.
years you've done
Turn
nothing.
is
They
it?
understand.
All right.
Apparently my turn.
My turn.
Remember that debate and all the
ain't got shit.
interruptions? That was the first time that they debated. That was September 29th,
Reverse.
2020. Let's talk about the lessons from this
not
from
good.
that debate for this rematch. John Dickerson. Well, clearly the microphone is
No,
going
no,
to
don't
change
fucking
things
play. Why?
tonight, so there won't be as many.
Why does it have to play the
That will
first
change
one?
things. It's questionable about what Donald
They're really
Trump
trying to
learned.
justify
We
this
know, well, those of us who covered the
microphone
Trump
shit that they did.
presidency is
I
that
know,
there were
they're
often
so
moments
happy
where his
about it.
aides, his family went to him, said, you know, you got to tone it down. You've got to be more presidential. And it would stick for very short periods of time. But his gut is something he believes in. Aides have variously talked about his times at rallies as creating a sense of giving him oxygen. He wants to be
Oh, I
that
can hear it
person.
now.
That person was the one interrupting Joe Biden. The problem for Trump in that
Yeah, I'm
debate
hearing
was that people
our
thought,
stream just delayed.
and the polling showed this, we don't want 4 more years of
What are you
that
listening
in
to?
our living room. Joe Biden was
What are
there
y'all?
Yeah, it
as
is
a
delayed by
representative
like 10
of returning
seconds.
the norms of the presidency.
I thought I was listening to the stream, and I was like,
if
wait a
any of
second.
those lessons conveyed to tonight.
Because people thought, oh my gosh, it's the pandemic. Life is too chaotic. I kind of like this Joe Biden. He seems more calming than Donald Trump. Those were the stylistic, at least, differences. There was a lot more, obviously, but that's what I'm saying, that debate and the chaoticness of it, I think, probably stuck with people.
And as I recall, Nora, at the time when he said,
The
'cause we're all raised in
chaoticness?
houses where your parents tell you,
You mean
do
the
not
chaos?
shut
So crazy.
up.
Zero
At the time
wars.
when
It
he said
was
shut up, I think
crazy.
most people
I know Zero
actually
Wars.
understood why he felt
Eric.
that, because he was so
Where'd
exasperated
he go?
trying to get a word
My
in
money went a
edgewise.
long way.
I'd be curious to know where in the debate that
Jared?
moment
Damn.
came. I don't
He's gonna
remember
get
it
fucked
as we
now.
sit here today.
It was about halfway.
It was halfway through,
and
but-
even in the room, because we were up in the rafters watching this whole thing. You could just feel it in the room. Everyone was just like, oh, "Gosh, is this what it's going to be like?" You know, when they meet again. The fact that the microphone
gosh.
is muted. First of all,
That's also
we've all
probably the
heard
best thing
from
for him. It
people,
would've made him
sources,
keep drawing if you
friends,
didn't do that.
family, how excited they are.
Oh, gosh.
that they're
Oh,
finally
golly.
implementing that.
You're
rule.
drawn.
So how does that change? I don't know.
That's fine.
And I really wonder if
Give
either of
Jared some
them has
time.
practiced for that phenomenon, because our friends at CNN pointed out yesterday how it's going to work. And if it goes as they say it will, you literally will
Must
see
have
lips
happened
moving,
with
but you
Jensen.
will not be able to hear them. So do they
Where he was
practice
getting
facial
this.
expressions? Do they, scoff, or do they
Changing my
just
volume.
stand there and shake their head? No, it's
Okay.
not true. They're going to have to wait their turn. And that changes the dynamic in all these things, because what do we always seize on? It's those moments of friction.
But and that is the theater, and that is about the impression.
Friction?
And if you remember in that period in time back in 2020, Joe Biden was running on this argument of competence
Right.
in the midst of chaos, restoring order.
sounds like
we
Biden
didn't have a
can't even
vaccine
put a
then.
sentence
We were in the
together.
midst of this pandemic that had upended our lives, and that's what's so interesting about Anthony's polling about the economy and people remembering it fondly under Donald Trump, forgetting he was the one who shut down the economy because of
You know,
what
we
was
have the
happening.
exact
But I
same-
think in
the
our
exact
polling, one of the things
opposite.
that's so
I know,
interesting
it's-
Ed, is
it's
when we
bad.
talk about the seriousness of the issues facing the country now,
Wasn't it just red?
and we are
Yeah,
only
I didn't have
hearing
a red.
the theater. We haven't
But you
heard.
picked red.
When you look at the polling,
How does Jared come back and just
75% of voters
automatically
say Trump should explain
jump
his plans
right
for the
in?
future. 69% say Biden should.
I don't have
That
green
implies
either.
They haven't heard the affirmative argument for the future of
Jump
the
in, Brennan.
country.
We haven't heard from either of them.
Well, and in
from
fact, the
exactly.
studies have been done by even conservative-leaning economists that Trump's plan to expand tariffs would actually lead to an increase
Right.
in inflation,
In inflation,
correct? Yes.
yes.
And so that is something that hasn't, that sort of sharp policy debate that I think that
Expanding
voters are
tariffs
craving.
would
Wait a minute,
increase
I do wanna
inflation.
know what their plan is for the future. How are they going to make
Charging
my
other
life
countries
better and
more
my
to bring
children's
shit
lives
in
better? What are they going to do
would
for
make
me,
our
the
money
taxpayer?
worth
And
less.
also, this goes back to, did you
Is what
prepare
I'm-
for the
what she's
debate or
trying
didn't
to
you
say.
prepare
Jared's
for
gonna
the
make you
debate? You
draw.
can't riff your way through a presidency. You can't just wing it and
He just
be
looked at that
kind of
shit.
in the moment when you're dealing with things like alliances that need to be tended
Poor
when you
Jared.
have invasions happening. You can't just
trash,
decide
dude.
on your economic policy on the fly when you've
Oh,
got
yeah. I had a
massive
green
moving
fob.
forces globally. Also with
Yeah,
the
no, I
advent of
saw-
artificial intelligence,
I
you
saw-
have to have a plan. You have to think things through. You have to anticipate. And all of that comes down to this stylistic difference between the two of them. So it is theater review, but it attaches to a crucial thing about the presidency, which is that it is a job that you cannot just improvise your way through.
Don't you find it hard to believe that he's done no preparation? I mean, I know he says that he's prepared for this his whole life when he goes out on rallies, but this is such a big moment for both of them.
I was
Because
hoping you would
research-
forget.
I know Margaret and
Dude,
Nora are like,
I
yeah, can
just,
kinda
I knew
believe it.
I just had to do it.
What in his previous behavior would
I
lead
didn't
you
trust
to believe that
Drawn.
he's
I know
cracking the
I'd get
books?
like
Because I
5
just
more
think
cards.
that
Dude,
this is
can I
different.
play?
There
Just
is so much
switch.
at stake for both of them. There always is.
Be
But
sick
in this
if I could
particular
play.
case, Joe Biden has to bring it to show, look, that I'm physically capable of doing this. Donald Trump has to show that I can be, quote, presidential.
why'd you pick the
that
color I
can,
didn't have?
that
I
I can,
didn't.
quote, behave. Well, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Yes, they both have something to prove to the audience tonight.
We're going to find out in less than 25 minutes.
And I
Nancy.
can't
This
wait.
thing's just a
I
piece
know,
of shit, and I was just
exactly.
clicking.
When we come back, we're going to talk about these key
She said Joe Biden has to
battleground
prove
states,
that
how
he
each
can-
campaign thinks they can achieve
that he can-
victory in the race to
can do what, talk?
270
She said Trump needs to-
votes. Remember, that's what it's
I'm gonna
about.
do what,
These
talk?
She
seven
said
battleground
Trump
states.
needs to
We'll
prove
talk
that he
about
can
Washington,
behave, and Biden needs to prove that he can handle the debate.
Dude,
I'm
what
like,
are we in fucking kindergarten again? Like, what are we doing?
I'm like,
Then
yeah,
Jared
Biden-
said,
These are our- Hey, you know how crazy that is? That this is our presidents that we're talking about?
I know.
That Trump has to Trump has to be
Washington is the seat of power.
like behave himself, and our actual president has to be able to do the debate. What the fuck kind of shit is that?
Wait, Jared, hold on. Jared, jump in.
Most powerful voices in America to the table.
Jump in, brother.
We don't
It won't
just
let me.
ask the questions.
Oh,
we
it's
have
because
to go
I'm
deeper.
retarded?
We try
Hold
to
on.
understand
I wonder if I can do this.
Yeah,
the
you jump
issue
in.
we're talking about to then come
Yeah,
forward with solutions.
play the century.
Face the Nation on CBS.
Oh, good.
Just so fucking
I
dumb.
got.
Oh, good,
The
dude.
justices ruled that Harvard
Get reported.
and
I'm
the
actually
University
impressed.
of North Carolina violated
I
the
didn't think that would actually
Constitution.
work. I was like, oh shit, now they know the
Supreme Court
card.
decision to end
Oh, yeah, that's
affirmative
actually
action
pretty
in
good.
college
That was a good play.
admissions. Uncertainty sets in for some students of color.
Affirmative action really gave us an equal opportunity.
CBS Reports explores the historic decision and what it means for those chasing an opportunity to change their
Will,
lives.
it's gonna make you draw.
I knew that college was
Oh,
the
you're
ticket
like-
to break this cycle.
The end of affirmative action, now streaming on the free CBS News app.
Hey, don't help that guy.
Oh, me.
Okay, let's go.
Oh, I just.
please.
we good?
Keep going. The clock. It's ticking.
Oh my god, Brandon's controller.
60 minutes.
60 minutes.
Brandon.
It's time for 60 Minutes, Sundays
No.
on CBS.
Monica.
An original documentary from CBS Reports.
AI is among the most
I guess at least only draws two. This
Curing
doesn't go
diseases,
until it picks something.
scientific breakthroughs, making lives better.
They can help us with medical discoveries, scientific discoveries, doing better agriculture, having cures for things like Alzheimer's. It's also going to really transform the way we work.
The uplifting potential of artificial intelligence.
You missed
is
it earlier. It
limitless.
buzzed and he wasn't expecting it to.
Somebody to chat
I don't think
with
I've ever seen him jump so
24/7
much.
That is non-judgmental. He makes me feel loved and desired.
And
Oh, yeah, Zach?
its downfalls.
Only draws
The
two.
problem with all this AI is that it's
It did last
unpredictable and
time.
Controllable. The choices we make now will have lasting effects.
It goes until he has something
Maybe
playable, but
centuries.
then it doesn't play it.
GPT revolution.
I don't understand
Now
that.
on the free CBS News app.
We are about to see American weapons.
You got every color, buddy. You can pick whatever you want.
A gun pipeline to Mexico.
We are arming the cartels.
100%. Nice.
No doubt about it.
Happening right under our noses.
Who's doing something about this?
A CBS Reports exclusive.
Most Americans have no idea that
I'm
we
just waiting to
are
hear it fall off or something.
the enemy next door. This is the story.
He's
that
already
American
gotta get a new one.
Arming
Oh,
cartels.
come
Now
on. As soon as I get
It
back.
kicks you.
CBS News
Come
app.
on.
Dude, you kicked the return.
Oh, it just kicked him out because it
Try
just
to
kicked him.
join. Just try to join.
stories on a day-to-day, hour-to-hour basis.
You're going to hear a lot of reporting.
It is clearly a pivotal moment.
Gun control, the
That's
economy,
stupid.
education. Both sides of the political aisle fight it out for power.
Bringing you the analysis
Oh, hell
that you
yeah.
need.
Thoughtfully, with context.
Be part of the conversation.
On CBS News streaming.
Welcome to America Decides.
He's gotta have one.
Monday through
Never mind.
Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern.
Alright, I was trying to invite Brandon. Y'all are out here
Welcome
being
back to Debate Night
douchebags,
coverage
dropping
here
a bunch
on
of
CBS. We are
cards
just
down.
moments away from that
played a
debate,
3.
and we're learning President
I played
Biden
2
has
threes,
just
actually.
arrived at the debate
Oh,
site. After the debate, President Biden is going to head to North Carolina for a rally tomorrow. North Carolina is one of 7 states where this election will be decided. Now, of those 7 states, Joe Biden won 6 of them in the last election. The one state that he did not win was North Carolina, right?
This
Major Garrett, but I know
douchebag.
you're going to break it down for us because
What
I
the
am
fuck is
so
that?
obsessed with
This
these 7 states.
douchebag.
Exactly. Good evening, Nora. Good evening, everyone. I know it feels a
My
little
teammate's
early
such
to
a
bring back our
douche.
old friend, the Electoral College map, but look, we have a presidential debate in
Damn,
June, so it
that's
gets
what you
early
had,
around
Will.
here with the
Yeah.
campaign 2024. So, stop me if you've heard this before. Who wins this election is going to come down to 7 battleground
Oh, you
states.
should've done
Nora
blue so I
just
could've skipped
referred to
them.
them. What are they?
Yeah.
Let's go through them once
Oh,
again.
damn.
Nevada, Arizona, Wisconsin,
That's what
Michigan,
Will's gonna do.
Pennsylvania, and as Nora just mentioned, North Carolina, as
Brandon
well as
just
Georgia.
gave me his
Now, in
cards
2020,
for the
Biden won
game,
6
the
of
round
those
before he was
states.
gonna win.
We
Teammates
asked each
rotated
campaign,
all the cards, and
what do they think is the easiest
Yeah,
path for them
fucking
to
Zach.
achieve victory? Let's first start with the incumbent.
Alright, I'm done with
President
this,
Biden.
'cause
Now,
the
he
debate's
wins
Brandon's not even
early
playing. That was
and
the
like
AI
Democratic
guy.
states,
I thought that was
on our
Brandon.
friend, the
No,
map.
Okay.
no.
He
Never
just
mind,
needs to
Brandon.
win
Sorry.
the
Are we
states the
quitting?
campaign
Yeah, debate's gonna
affectionately
start soon.
calls the blue wall. That's Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. The president would
I
also
can't believe your
again
teammate did
pick up
that.
the one electoral vote from Nebraska's 2nd congressional district.
hilarious.
That would put him at exactly 270 electoral votes. We all know that's the magic number. Now let's flip to the Trump side of the equation. If he wins all the lean and likely Republican states he won 4 years ago, the campaign feels their clearest path
Does
to
that mean
victory
y'all aren't playing
hold
Uno at
North
all
Carolina,
anymore?
which he won in 2020.
Yeah, we're just
and
gonna
then
pull
flip
up the stream.
battleground states, Georgia and
commentate on how-
Pennsylvania. That would bring
Zach,
Trump
you want to play?
to
You want to play Chained?
Of course, we all know the easiest path to victory is not
I don't know if you want
always
me to
how
play that
elections
with
play
you,
out.
but
Some
I'll
pose
try.
At least one more scenario. Let's say Trump
That'll be
carries
all right.
every state he won in 2020.
I'm really bad at this game.
Along with the same electoral votes
Are
from
you?
Nebraska and Maine. That would
Yeah.
put him at 235 electoral votes. If Trump wins the 3 states he lost in 2020 by less than 1%,
Put my
that's
controller back
Wisconsin, Arizona, and Georgia, he would have 272 electoral votes and be returned to the Oval Office.
I'll share
All
my
right, everyone,
screen
back
so
to you.
y'all can watch
All right,
that.
Major. Thank
if you
you,
want.
Gail.
Thank you, Major. We are joined now
Brandon's
by
frozen.
CBS News political contributors,
what
Democratic
you think.
strategist Joel Payne, and
he's
Republican
just
strategist
doing
Terry
something.
Sullivan.
I made a Jesus, I'm fucking bright in my future. I made a lobby, but I don't.
Brandon.
I fucked up.
Do you want
we
to start
staying
from the
in
very
here?
beginning, or do you want to start where we are?
I don't care.
All right.
Brandon.
What
Well,
the
you
fuck
invite
is
me then, I guess.
happening?
Brandon.
What?
Yeah.
Hold on, dude. I fucked shit up over here.
You. What'd you do?
All right. You just have to join my session. Zach.
How do I find you?
So go in there and press join game,
I'm there.
and then you'll see J Bravo 117. If you search me.
Fucking Steam,
Your
bro. I
password?
swear to
Yeah.
God, always trying to
E-
download some
E-
stupid ass shit.
E. Is VEGETA.
My bad, my
How
bad.
do I spell Vegeta?
But back up.
VE. It's V.
All right, I'm already in.
All right, good. All right. Let's see. Oh, we gotta spin this thing. There we go. We gotta go this way.
Hey, Will, mute and just mute Zach and Jarrett.
You want to just move to the other chat?
Experience thought-provoking.
No, just mute them.
The idea of being a human
We'll do the
Innovative
drinking game.
and
There you go. Hop on
truly
here.
original reporting.
That's fine.
Huh?
Because there's always
Let's
something
move to the other one,
under
'cause
the
then-
sun
Just
on
mute. That way we can
CBS
still-
Sunday morning.
You want to hear us?
Yeah.
At this moment, terrorists could be
Here we go.
planning
Talking
another
about
attack. 9/11
about
triggered a
anything
counter-terrorist
important about this
system that
debate.
included a secret database.
This person.
I don't think anything important is going to happen at
A
that
growing
debate.
list
Yeah,
of nearly
probably
2
not.
million people, including some Americans who say they're innocent.
For 1 hour flight, I have to spend
Alright,
I need
6
Brandon.
drugs, but those dudes are on in order to
CBS
fucking
reports
speak like
explores
regular
the
humans.
system,
Yeah,
the
no
people
shit.
responsible for it, and those pushing for change.
I'm not
You
fighting
mute 'em?
against
I
them.
gotta-
I'm fighting for them to do the right thing.
I'll tell you,
Watch
step
now
off.
streaming on
1,
the free
2,
CBS
3,
News app.
step off. Perfect. All right, we'll jump to this frog.
Anytime you want.
How can I still hear
Jump to
him?
this
Do I have to deafen him?
Podcast. Real crime.
Gosh, sorry, you were going quick. I was like, uh-oh.
1, 2, 3, go.
Questions that have to be asked and need to be answered.
Listen to 48 Hours on Apple Podcasts.
An original documentary from CBS Reports.
Imagine yourself in Manhattan with no police, no army, no
Alright, we're
mayor.
good.
The people of Haiti stare down poverty, corruption, natural disasters, and violence.
90% of the guns that are used by gangs in Haiti are American guns.
but with an unbreakable spirit and eternal optimism.
There are days where I cry, but we can't be discouraged. We still believe in Haiti.
They're still able to look ahead with hope.
Haiti is on the brink of transformation, a radical shift. Nations are coming together and saying things must change.
Fighting for Haiti, now streaming on the free CBS News app.
Hey there, welcome to The Uplift. I thought she was a groom, and I stepped back and I went, oh, you're the queen. She's going to be with me every instant that I'm alive.
I just wanted to see if you'd go to Disneyland with me today.
I look over at him and he's smiling.
I'm going to remember that the rest of my life.
They told us when he was going to be born, he was only going to live for 30 minutes. It's really a miracle that he's with us today.
The Uplift. Stream now on the free CBS News app.
When you wake up in the morning, we want to be your go-to team.
On our places, bright, shiny faces.
I don't go to work in the morning. I go for coffee with
So
my two
ready
good
for
friends,
this
and we talk about the world.
Your morning routine just got better. CBS Mornings.
I don't even know what to expect.
CBS News investigation.
Like, I really
Looking
don't.
for love, finding their life savings gone.
I feel like Biden's gonna come out being his crazy ass,
Anything for love. Now streaming on the free CBS News
all
app.
jacked up with the shot in his ass.
Yeah. He's gonna be on drugs.
You're looking at Atlanta, and we are just minutes away from the first presidential debate. A lot will happen on the stage there, and our team here will fact check what the candidates say. Chief Washington correspondent Major Garrett is leading that effort. Major, I think it's going to be a busy night for you.
It's going to be a busy night. Look, the campaigns and the candidates will fact check themselves, but we have a team of journalists that we've built here at CBS, not for just this debate, Nora, but for the entire campaign and for everything that falls into the disinformation, misinformation space. Forensic journalists, data journalists who will do this work 7 days a week from now until forever, basically. Tonight, we will unveil the CBS Confirmed team to take a look at the things that the campaigns and the candidates say tonight that most need a fact check. Either there's missing context or it's a complete falsehood. We will explain all of that and, not just tonight, but throughout this process with the CBS Confirmed team, show our work. How did we reach the conclusion to verify something is true or identify it as something false?
All right, so what's the drinking
We'll not only
game?
explain the verdict we
Every
reached,
time
but how we got there.
Biden
That's excellent. I think we're all looking forward to that.
says
It's
something
such an important
stupid,
element of what we do.
says a
is
wrong
fact-checking.
word.
You got my
I
stream
also
up?
just think about having covered so many presidential
You saw my
contests.
stream up?
We usually have
Yeah,
the
I got it
candidates
up on my
lay
phone.
out big pieces of policy,
Says it on the. I have like a
their
little thing
tax
on there.
plan or their health plan. Or in the case of Trump, who has talked about a lot of things that he was going to unveil, it just hasn't happened. There's no big policy discussion.
Think about how much we used to talk about health care. I mean, in the Obama years.
Why does quality look so bad?
And it was a constant.
They only do
and then
720p
in the
on
Democratic
CBS?
primary, one of the things
That's
is that
what- that's
ideas
how I
weren't really
do, too.
debated in the Republican primary because the major candidate didn't participate. So we haven't had debate, policy debates have kind of died out over the last several cycles, but it really now is threadbare, and that's one of the challenges for the
Trump.
moderators tonight, which
All
is
right,
to get
so
them to do
everybody
more than just
has to
give
drink
kind of a
when
top
Biden
line, but
gaffes.
in fact,
Trump
articulate
brings up
what and
Hunter.
how their policies work.
CNN
I've
interrupts
never
Trump.
seen anything like this before.
Convicted.
either. That's
Anyone says convicted felon.
Yeah, because there are
Sleepy
two presidents,
Joe.
and because there seems to
gotta
be
finish
such
your drink.
dissatisfaction with both candidates on
If
both sides.
Biden
I
freezes
also find
up,
that very fascinating. That
Trump
both sides say,
pulls
I'm not
out.
happy with my choices.
I think back to the debate that y'all moderated in early 2020. What was one of the biggest headlines coming out of that night?
Well, that was like herding cats. Though. That was
I don't
very
even know what
different.
that
The big
says,
headline
guys.
was Joe
Sorry.
Biden made a policy pledge, right?
And
I
then
will
Trump
nominate a
compared
black
to
woman
Hitler.
to the Supreme Court.
Or
and I will make that
CNN
happen
cuts the
on my
feed.
first choice. That was a new
So,
policy.
we're gonna
thing.
see
It was a
what
headline.
happens.
It was something
It's
he could
gonna
run
be
on the rest of the-
fantastic.
What's to say one of them doesn't do that tonight and suggest something meaty and somewhat policy driven that drives headlines?
Who might that be, Ed?
Who would propose that?
Yes.
I mean, either of them could do it.
No, who might
but
that
we-
be that you think would create a headline? Because I think debates are about messaging and they're about moments. It's what Terry said. Somebody is going to try to make a moment, whether deliberately, in a good way, or inadvertently.
But we want
Somebody wants a moment.
But we'll stay grounded and knowing that actually they're not defined by what they do in these 90 minutes. They have huge, long records.
Yes.
Promises made in the evening. We have a record against which we can check them, whether they're just blowing smoke or whether they've put together a team and a vision to execute that idea. Because these two candidates have been tested in the job and facing the reality that tonight might get into fantasy.
And how do you characterize each other's record? Each president has 4 years, nearly 4 years for Joe Biden, a full 4 years for President Trump. And if they wade into that and they mischaracterize that, we will be there to describe what is or isn't true.
What we see in our polling so often, though, is the short memories Americans have.
Sure.
And so it's not just fact-checking, it's reminding people that when they tried to recast Donald Trump as Ronald Reagan, peace through strength, well, actually, he tried to pull troops out of Germany, South Korea, and Japan. That it is not about America fighting wars now, as Donald Trump will say. America's not actively involved in wars. We're just in such a different information space, and I think that's what's fascinating about what you're doing here, Major, where we are not just fact-checking and elevating truth. We have to actively bring down untruth and tell you, no, this is wrong, this is why it's wrong, because that eco-space out there is spreading these untruths in ways, in outlets other than ours.
We are moments away from this debate. Let's get a quick check-in with Nancy Cordes and Robert Costa there in Atlanta. Nancy?
Nora, the president is going to want to talk about a range of issues tonight: reproductive rights, taxes, the economy. But first and foremost, he wants to make the case that Donald Trump is too dangerous to allow back into the Oval Office. He'll say he's now a convicted felon, that he inspired the January 6th insurrectionists, that he admires dictators, that he's under indictment here in Georgia in this very county, Fulton County. That is the overarching case that he's looking to make in the next 90 minutes.
Nancy Cordes, thank you. Robert Costa, you are there in the spin room as well. Final thoughts.
I just was speaking to some Trump campaign advisors, and they said this is all about former President Trump trying to win over those Nikki Haley Republicans. He's already got his base, but can his temperament tonight, his personality, his answers on really important policy issues, can it convince independents, traditional Republicans, those who have skepticism about him, to give him another shot, a full look? We'll see. 90 minutes, it's political war between these two.
Robert Costa, thank you very much. And, you know, I'm anxiously awaiting what's going to happen, because I do feel like this is going to be not only a clash of personality, but hopefully a clash of ideas about not only their own records, but what they'll do in the future.
And, you know, Nora, one of the things that comes back to me again and again is how serious the issues are that are facing the country right now. And that it has to be more than a tweet or a bumper sticker, and that we are excited there's a debate when that used to be the very basic expectation of what voters were required to hear, an actual cogent, you know, explanation of what someone was offering when they were arguing to be your commander-in-chief.
And when there's a bipartisan agreement on immigration about how to do that, where Democrats went the most conservative that they've ever gotten and pushed them there, and they still couldn't get a deal done.
Americans can steal this debate back from the political system and say, they didn't answer my questions, they didn't talk about what I want, and demand that from the candidates. They don't have to take what's being fed tonight.
All right. Thanks to all of you, and our coverage of the CNN presidential debate will continue momentarily here on CBS News 24/7 and on your local CBS station. Up next, the next and first presidential debate.
Why does she laugh like
What are you watching, the CBS one?
Yeah.
Who laughed?
The girl.
Hit live, just make sure you're live.
Okay, so let's just start at the beginning.
Well, let me start with this. What is at stake here?
What is the answer?
I'm watching 60 Minutes.
Why? You want me to just keep going?
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Were there death threats?
How is this possible?
What's wrong?
Oh man, let's go.
Have you told the government that?
Excited.
The word crisis.
You're not answering my question.
Is that scary?
Does that make sense?
What do you mean?
What does that mean in
Did any of that make sense?
What's your response?
What happened?
Why?
It's time for the CBS News Original 60 Minutes, Sunday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
There is no more room in our city.
New York City is receiving record numbers of migrants.
Today, we're going to have more than 500 adults and children come through that door.
Tensions rise as shelters reach max capacity.
We don't have to take care of them.
CBS Reports goes inside a crisis cities and families are facing as they fight to survive.
The United States still has that glimmer of hope for people to come here.
Fighting for a future. Now streaming on the free CBS News app.
On Face the Nation, the way to learn is to listen.
We may have a recession.
Listening to how someone explains themselves is so key to understanding their perspective.
Oh, Shank, are people getting
from CBS Reports?
People getting rocked?
Soup in 2014. Do you have any sense as
Dude
to
said
how
good luck.
much
It's kind of
food
crazy how
was
few of
rescued
these were
from the
left.
landfill?
We've rescued 4.5 million pounds.
People getting
I
rocked?
can't even fathom how much food that is.
And that's one little person in one little city in America.
You're still alive, Brandon,
We're gonna
right?
call this chicken piccata. We did 450 of these meals today.
This is the exact dish that you and I are going to have.
Yep.
Oh, really good.
Is it good? Mm-hmm. Having a plan of how to keep people fed should be in every
Like I should turn
single
the
city.
If we eliminated food waste, could we
the audio
eliminate
down
Yes.
while it's on
Eating
ads.
Trash. Now streaming on the free CBS News app.
I'll get rocked for an ad.
America Decides, taking you inside American democracy.
The most important stories on a day-to-day, hour-to-hour basis.
You're going to hear a lot of reporting.
It is clearly a pivotal moment.
Gun control, the economy, education.
Record it
The analysis that you need
just to have record of it.
With context.
be part of the conversation.
On CBS News streaming.
You were muted,
Welcome
bro.
to America Decides.
When people
Might as
say
well.
who's first to get in the morning, that would be me. Morning news matters because it sets the tone for your day and it's a way of getting you started.
Day to day, that first draft of history, it happens right here.
We're going to uplift you. We're going to send you out your way.
We take you places, we teach you new things, and we make you feel like, you know, it's not all bad.
People say to
You
me,
stream
you always seem to
recorded
be having a good time. And you know what? You're right.
Your morning
Really?
routine
Your
just
computer would
got
probably
better. CBS Mornings, weekdays at 7.
Figured I'd try it.
The stakes in this election couldn't be higher. November 5th.
Like I should update the title to be like totally not the presidential debate.
I saw a Dragon Ball Z movie on there the other night that said that it was the Broly movie,
presidential debate.
and it was still
Now
there.
reporting, Nora O'Donnell.
A legendary side effect.
evening.
It is
We are
about to
just
start.
moments
It
away
is
from
9
one of the
o'clock.
most
Should start any
consequential
second,
events of
any
this
minute.
presidential campaign. President Biden and former President Trump face off in the first debate of the
Biden's waking
general
up.
election. The two meeting for the first time since 2020. They will outline their contrasting visions for America. This is also a chance for you, the voters, to judge
I just feel
the
bad
candidates
if we
in one
end
of
up
the
getting
only
into this
face-to-face
like 30 seconds
confrontations
in and
before
they
the
just
election.
do our
Our
stream.
CBS News team will be back after the debate for analysis and fact-checking. Now to Atlanta for the first presidential debate
We'll see.
hosted by CNN.
Highest office. Each will make his case to the American people.
If that's the
with
case,
just
honest.
over 4 months until election.
What? What are you shaking your head?
Oh,
Good
Jared
evening,
said
I'm
on
Dana
mute.
Bash, anchor of CNN's Inside Politics and
No, I'm not unmuting
of
them.
State of the Union.
I'm Jake Tapper, anchor of
Hey,
CNN's
legendary.
and co-anchor
I
of
cannot
State of the
thank
Union.
you enough,
Dan and I
dog.
will co-moderate this evening. Our job is
That is
to
awesome.
facilitate a debate.
Thank you for the
between
sub,
two
man.
candidates tonight. Before we
Oh, that's
introduce
cool. Don't
them,
sub to
we
me.
want share
That's
the
fine.
rules of the debate with the audience at home.
But yeah, go check out Surreal Lewis's channel as well.
Nope.
President Biden will be appearing on the
We're
right.
seeing who gets rocked first.
Determined their positions.
But yeah,
Each
man.
candidate will have 2 minutes to
USA,
answer
let's
questions
get it.
And 1 minute
2
each for
minutes.
responses and
Wait,
rebuttals.
what?
An additional minute for
Oh,
follow-up.
I thought that was a
clarification
countdown.
response
I thought that was
is
a
at the
countdown. My
moderator's
bad.
discretion.
When it's time for a candidate to speak, his microphone will be turned on and his opponent's microphone will be turned off. Should a candidate interrupt when his microphone is muted, he will be difficult to understand for viewers at home. At the end of the debate, each candidate will get 2 minutes for closing statements.
Oh,
There
really,
is no
legendary?
studio audience tonight.
He said I'm the only live stream he saw on my channel.
Campaign staff are not permitted during the debate.
Or on his channel.
By accepting our invitation to debate both candidates and their
What?
campaigns,
Yeah.
agreed to
Yeah,
accept
it's
these
weird.
rules.
Now, please welcome the 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden.
Oh, here comes Biden.
Here we go.
No, he's struggling already. He's struggling already, dude.
Oh my goodness.
Nope.
It's
over.
Muted and he doesn't even know. He's already confused.
Oh, it's over. Oh my god, he's walking up there like he's at the
Oh my goodness. Look at this man. He's like, look, this is how you step up.
Dude.
Microphone. This is how it works.
Thanks so much for being here. Let's begin the debate, and let's start with the
This is
issue that
crazy.
voters consistently say is their top concern, the economy. President Biden, inflation has slowed, but prices remain high. Since you took office, the price of essentials has increased. For example, a basket of groceries that cost $100 then now costs more than $120. And typical home prices
Why
have
do I
jumped
feel like
more
I'm
than
watching
30%.
a show of
What do you
Jeopardy?
say to voters who feel they are worse off under your presidency than they were under President Trump?
We got to take a look at what I was left when I became president and what Mr. Trump left me. We had an economy that was...
Oh, he's struggling already, dude. He's
The
struggling
pandemic
already.
was so badly handled. Many people were dying. All he said was, it's not that serious. Just inject a little bleach into your arm. You'll be all right. The economy
Dude, it's
collapsed.
over already.
There were no
It's
jobs.
over already.
Unemployment rate rose to 15%. It was terrible. And so what we had to do was try to put things back together again. And that's exactly what we began to do.
I dropped a
We
beer.
15,000 new jobs. We brought out the position where we had
Dude, he
800,000
is
new manufacturing jobs.
already out of energy.
Dude, what is happening?
Done. Working class people are still in trouble. I come from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I come of a household where the kitchen table, if the things weren't able to be met during the month, it was a problem. Price of eggs, the price of gas, the price of housing, the price of a whole range of things. That's why I'm working so hard to make sure I deal with those problems.
Dude, it's over.
And we're going
It's
to
over.
reduce the price of housing. We're going to make sure we build
Legendary
2
knows it's a
million
fact, bro.
units.
He's
We'll make
saying
sure
every
we
word's a
can't
lie,
plants,
bro.
so corporate
Everybody,
greed can't
dude,
take
what
over.
is
The
this guy
combination What I was left with in corporate greed is the reason why we're in this problem right now.
Dude.
In addition to that,
He hasn't stopped to
we're in a
breathe. Like,
situation where if you take a look at all that was done in his
did they expect the adrenaline to run out after the first 5
By
minutes?
the time he left, things were in chaos, literally chaos. And so we put things back together.
Hey, look at Trump though. He's behaving. He's behaving. He's behaving right now.
We brought down the price.
This
of
is
prescription drugs, which
crazy.
is a major issue for many people. To $15 for a insulin shot as opposed to $400. No senior has to pay more than $200 for any drug. All the drugs
Yeah.
we include beginning next year. In a situation, and we're going to make that available to everybody, to all Americans. So we're working to bring down the price around the kitchen table, and that's what we're going to get done.
Thank you, President Trump.
What?
We have the greatest economy in the history of our country. We have never done so well. Everybody was amazed by it.
What?
Other countries were copying us. We got hit with.
At least you
COVID,
can understand
and
Trump.
when we
I
did,
couldn't
we
understand Biden
spent
at
the
all.
money necessary
No, I
so we
couldn't.
wouldn't end up in a Great Depression, the likes of which we had in 1929. By the time we finished, so we did a great job. We got a lot of credit for the
Dude,
economy,
Trump's
a lot of
bringing
credit
out
for the military
facts,
and
dates.
wars and so
Where
many
was
other
Biden?
things.
I
Everything was right
couldn't
and
understand.
good. But the thing we never got the credit for.
Biden was like, it was like he was a wind-up doll.
Hold on. Shut up. Trump's
he
talking.
created mandates. That was a
I'm sorry.
disaster.
You're talking to
Other
Trump.
Shut up.
than that, we had given them back a country where the stock market actually was higher than pre-COVID, and nobody thought that was even possible. The only jobs he created are for illegal
Biden's reading his
immigrants
note
and
cards.
bounce back jobs. The bounce back from
He's
the COVID.
asleep.
He has not done a good job. He's done a poor job, and inflation's killing our country. It is absolutely killing us.
Thank you, President Biden.
Fuck
Well,
yeah.
the greatest economy in the world. He's the only one who thinks that, I think. I don't know anybody else who thinks he had the greatest economy in the world. And, the fact of the matter is that...
He coughed and then put his hand up.
ourselves in a situation where
Is it-
his economy...
You know, Trump didn't look down
the
once.
largest tax cut in American
What?
history.
Why does he have a pen
$2
and paper
There's a
and
deficit
so much
that
shit in
any
front of
president
him?
has in any one term. He's the only
I was just
president other than Herbert Hoover who's lost more jobs
frowning the whole
than
time.
he had when he began, since Herbert Hoover. The idea that he did something that was significant. And the military, when he was president, they were still killing people in Afghanistan. He didn't do anything about that. When he was president, we were still finding ourselves in a position where you had a notion that we were this safe country. The truth is, I'm the only president this century that doesn't have this decade, that doesn't have any troops dying anywhere in the
Didn't
world
troops
like he did.
Don't have any.
Dude, didn't troops die in the removal of Afghanistan?
Hold on. We'll have a post conference after this. Just be quiet during the
How will you
speech.
ensure that that doesn't drive prices even higher?
It's not going to drive them higher. It's just going to cost countries that have been ripping us off for years,
China.
like China and many others, in all fairness to China. It's going to just force them to pay us a lot of money, reduce our deficit.
Of course we're going to
tremendously,
vote.
and give us
Of
a lot
course
of
we're
power
going to
for
vote,
other things. But
Legendary.
he
No
made a
question
statement.
about
The
it.
other thing he was right about is I gave you the largest tax cut in history. I also gave you the largest regulation cut in history. That's why we had all the jobs. And the jobs went down and then they bounced back, and he's taking credit for bounce back jobs. You can't do that. He also said he inherited 9% inflation. No, he inherited almost no inflation, and it stayed that way for 14 months. And then it blew up under his leadership because they spent money like a bunch of people that didn't know what they were doing. And they don't know what they were doing. It was the worst, probably the worst administration in history. There's never been. And as far as Afghanistan is
Yes, sir,
concerned,
brother.
I was getting
Where are you
out of
from,
Afghanistan,
Legendary?
but we were getting out with dignity, with strength, with power. He got out. It was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country's life.
President Trump, over the last 8 years, under both of your administrations, the national debt soared to record highs. And according to a new nonpartisan analysis, President Trump, your administration approved $8.4 trillion in new debt, while so far, President Biden, you've approved $4.3 trillion in new debt. So, former President Trump, many of the tax cuts that you signed into law are set to expire next year. You want to extend them and go even further, you say. With the U.S. facing trillion-dollar deficits and record debt, why should top earners and corporations pay even less in taxes than they do now?
Because the tax cuts spurred the greatest economy.
Legendary, no shit. We live in Virginia too, bro. We're fucking way south from DC, though.
Than just about any other country. But we spurred, that tax spurred. Now, when we cut the taxes, as an example, the corporate tax was cut down to 21% from 39%, plus beyond that. We took in more revenue with much less tax, and companies were bringing back trillions of dollars back into our country. The country was going like never before, and we were ready to start paying down debt. We were ready to start
Biden's about to
using
fall
the liquid
asleep.
gold right under our feet.
Dude, I don't know
The
what
oil and
he's
gas
doing
right
over
under our
there.
feet. We were going to have something that nobody else has had. We got hit with COVID. We did a lot to fix it. I gave him an unbelievable situation.
Dude,
with
Culpepper's
all of the
actually not too far
therapeutics
away
and
from
all of
us.
the things that
Dead
we
ass.
came up with. We gave him
That's
something
crazy,
good.
yo.
Remember, more people died under his administration.
We're near, like,
even though
Hanover.
We had largely fixed it. More people died under his administration than our administration, and we
Oh,
were right in
dox
the
us.
middle of it. Something which a lot of people don't like to talk about. But he had far more people dying in his administration. He did the mandate, which is a disaster, mandating it. The vaccine went out. He did a mandate on the vaccine, which is the thing that people most objected to about the vaccine.
Oh my God, Biden's.
And he did a
What
very
is he
poor
looking
job,
at?
just
There's
a
no
very poor
crowd.
job.
What is
And
he
I will tell you,
smiling at?
Not only poor there, but throughout the entire world, we're no longer respected as a country. They don't respect our leadership. They don't respect the United States anymore. We're like a third world nation between weaponization of his election, trying to go after his political opponent. All of the things he's done, we've become like a third world nation, and it's a shame. The damage he's done to our country, and I'd love to ask him, and will, why he allowed millions of people to come in here from prisons, jails, and mental institutions to come into our country and destroy our country.
President Trump, we will get to immigration later in this
That
block.
was good.
President Biden, I want to give you an opportunity to respond to this question about the national debt.
He had the largest national debt of any president in a 4-year period, number one. Number two, that $2 trillion tax cut benefited the very
Yes.
wealthy. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America.
What is
Yeah.
wrong with this
Billionaires in
man?
America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 billion, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do.
A 10-year
childcare,
plan.
elder care,
Sounds
making sure that we
fantastic.
continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare.
Did you see him
Because
stop?
All of these people are coming
No,
in.
no, I
They're
just got
putting
back.
them
I
on
went to get a
Medicare,
beer.
they're
You missed
putting them
it,
on
dude.
Social
Did
Security.
he stop?
To
He
destroy
stopped.
Social
All right,
Security. This man is going to single-handedly destroy Social Security. These millions and millions of people coming in,
Did he
they're
really,
trying to
dude?
put them on
Look
Social
at the stream.
Security. He will wipe out
Dude.
Social Security. He will wipe out Medicare. So he was right in the way he finished that sentence. And it's a shame. What's happened to our country in the last 4 years is not to be believed. Foreign countries, I'm friends with a lot of people, they cannot believe what happened to the United States of America. We're no longer respected. They don't like us. We give them everything they want, and they think we're
froze
stupid.
up.
I
They think
can't
we're
believe
really
it.
stupid
I
people.
can't believe
up.
it.
What we're doing for other countries, and they do nothing
just
for
looked
us.
down.
What
Go
this
Trump.
man has done is absolutely criminal.
Thank you, President Trump.
He
Dana?
froze.
This is the
He
first
just said
presidential
President
election
Trump, a
since the
CNN
Supreme
anchor
Court
or
overturned Roe v.
moderator.
Wade.
He's been saying
This
it. He's been
morning,
saying it.
Did he?
the court
Okay,
ruled
that's the
on
first
yet
time I heard
another
it.
abortion
I was
case,
like, wow.
temporarily
That,
allowing
all right,
emergency
I'm gonna shut up.
abortions
Will, we need to
continue
shut
in
up
Idaho,
until the end.
despite that
Look,
state's restrictive
you gotta
ban.
call it.
Former President Trump, you take credit for the decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, which returned the issue of abortion to the states.
Correct.
However, the federal government still plays a role in whether or not women have access to abortion pills. They're used in about 2/3 of all abortions. As president, would you block abortion medication?
First of all, the Supreme Court just approved the abortion pill, and I agree with their decision to have done that, and I will not block it. And if you look at this whole question that you're asking, complex but not really complex. 51 years ago, you had Roe v. Wade, and everybody wanted to get it back to the states. Everybody, without exception. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives, everybody wanted it back. Religious leaders. And what I did is I put 3 great Supreme Court justices on the court, and they happened to vote in favor of killing Roe v. Wade and moving it back to the states. This is something that everybody wanted. Now, 10 years ago or so, they started talking about how many weeks and how many this, and getting into other things. But every legal scholar throughout the world, the most respected, wanted it brought back to the states. I did that. Now the states are working it out. If you look at Ohio, it was a decision that was an end result that was a little bit more liberal than you would have thought. Kansas, I would say the same thing. Texas is different. Florida is different. But they're all making their own decisions right now. And right now, the states control it. That's the vote of the people. Like Ronald Reagan, I believe in the exceptions. I am a person that believes. And frankly, I think it's important to believe in the exceptions. Some people, you have to follow your heart. Some people don't believe in that. But I believe in the exceptions for rape, incest, and the life of the mother. I think it's very important. Some people don't. Follow your heart. But you have to get elected also. And because that has to do with other things. You got to get elected. The problem they have is they're radical because they will take the life of a child in the 8th month, the 9th month, and even after birth. After birth, if you look at the former governor of Virginia, he was willing to do this. He said, we'll put the baby aside and we'll determine what we do with the baby, meaning we'll kill the baby. What happened is we brought it back to the states, and the country is now coming together on this issue. It's been a great thing.
Thank you. President Biden?
It's been a terrible thing, what you've done. The fact is that the vast majority of constitutional scholars supported Roe when it was decided, supported Roe. And that's this idea that they're all against it is just ridiculous. And this is the guy who says the state should be able to have it. We're in a state where in 6 weeks, you don't even know whether you're pregnant or not, but you cannot see a doctor, and have him decide on what your circumstances are, whether you need help.
He's drooling.
The idea that states are able to do this is a little like saying we're going to turn civil rights back to the states. Let each state have a different rule.
This is fucking crazy.
Including a young woman who just was murdered.
How long have we been watching?
He went to the funeral. The idea that she was murdered by an immigrant.
It's been 10 minutes.
They talk about that, but here's the deal: there's a lot of young women are being raped by their in-laws, by their spouses, brothers and sisters, it's just ridiculous, and they can do nothing about it. And they try to arrest them when they cross state lines.
Thank you.
There have been many young women murdered by the same people he allows to come across our border. We have a border that's the most dangerous
They
place
just cut
anywhere
Biden
in the
off
world. Consider the most
hard
dangerous
right there.
place anywhere in the world.
You didn't even say thank you,
And
Mr.
he
President.
opened it up, and these killers are coming into our country. And they
Mackie,
are
isn't
raping
this
and
weird
killing
as
women.
crap? This
And it's
is
a terrible
crazy.
thing. As far as the abortion is concerned, it is now back with the states. The states are voting. In many cases, it's frankly a very liberal decision. In many cases, it's the opposite. But they're voting, and it's bringing it back to the vote of the people, which is what everybody wanted, including the founders, if they knew about this issue, which frankly they didn't. But they would have.
I mean, every question Trump is nailing. Like there's.
Everybody wanted it brought back.
I don't even know
Many
why this
presidents
is
had tried to
even
get it
a
back.
debate.
I was the one to do it. And again, this gives it the vote of the people, and that's where they wanted it. Every legal scholar wanted it that way.
Staying on the topic of abortion, President Biden, 7 states, I'll let you do that. This is the same topic. 7 states have no legal restrictions on how far into a pregnancy a woman can obtain an abortion. Do you support any legal limits on how late a woman should be able to
Look at
terminate
his
pregnancy?
face right now.
Roe v. Wade, which had 3 trimesters. The first time is between the woman and the doctor. Second time is between the doctor and an extreme situation. The third time is between the doctor, between the woman and the state. The idea that the politicians, that the founders wanted the politicians to be the ones making decisions about women's health is ridiculous. That's the last. No politician should be making that decision. A doctor should be making those decisions. That's how it should be run. That's what you're going to do. And if I'm elected, I'm going to restore Roe v. Wade.
So that means he can
I'm gonna
take
be
the
honest.
life of the baby in the 9th month and even after birth, because some states, Democrats,
CNN ain't acting
take it after
too
birth. Again, the
unfair
governor,
right
former
now.
governor of Virginia, put the
I
baby
agree.
down, then we
I
decide
agree.
what to do with it. So he's willing to, as we say, rip the baby out of the womb in the 9th month and kill the baby. Nobody wants that to happen, Democrat or Republican. Nobody wants it to happen.
That is simply not true. The Roe v. Wade does not provide for that. That's not the circumstance. Only if a woman's life is in danger, she's going to die. That's the only circumstance in which that can happen. But we are not for late-term abortion, period.
Under Roe v. Wade, you have late-term abortion. You can do whatever you want, depending on the state. You can do whatever you want. We don't think that's a good thing. We think it's a radical thing. We think the Democrats are the radicals, not the Republicans.
For 51 years, that was the law. 51 years, constitutional scholarship said it was the right way to go. 51 years, and it was taken away because this guy put very conservative members on the Supreme Court. He takes credit for taking it away. What's he going to do? What's he going to do, in fact, if...
Nah, I feel that legendary, bro. We're drinking right there with you, dog.
Republicans control the Congress, and they pass on universal...
Did you tell him the rules?
Period, across the board, at 6 weeks or 7 or 8 or 10 weeks, something very, very conservative. Is he going to sign that bill? I'll veto it. He'll sign it.
Thank you.
Let's turn now to the issue
Oh,
of
they cut
immigration
Trump
and border
off.
security. President Biden, a record number of migrants have illegally crossed the southern border on your watch. Overwhelming border states and overburdening cities such as New
did you
York
see
and
that?
Chicago,
The girl
in
in the
some
white
cases
was telling
causing
him to
real
shut
safety
up,
and security
but
concerns.
he didn't.
Given that, why should voters trust you to solve this crisis?
All right, well,
Because we
I
worked
take
very
back my
hard to get
CNN
bipartisan
remark.
agreement that not only changed all of that, it made sure that we are in a situation where you had no circumstance where they could come across the border with the number of border police there are now. We significantly increased the number of asylum officers. By the way, the Border Patrol endorsed my position. In addition to that, we found ourselves in a situation where when he was president, he was separating babies.
Mothers,
putting them in cages, making sure the families were separated. That's not the right way to go. What I've done since I've changed the law, what's happened? I've changed it in a way that now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. That's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look, we had the safest border in the history of our country.
Holy shit.
All he had to do was leave it. He decided to open up our border, open up our country to people that are from prisons. people that are mental institutions.
Dude, it's over.
Insane asylums,
Look at him.
terrorists.
Look at him.
One of the
Shut up.
largest
Trump's
group of
talking.
terrorists coming into our country right now. All terrorists, all over the world, not just in South America, all over the world. They come from the Middle East, everywhere. All over the world, they're pouring in. And this guy just left it open. And he didn't need legislation because I didn't have legislation. I said, close the border. We had the safest border in history. In that final couple of months of my presidency, we had, according to Border Patrol, who is great, and by the way, who endorsed me for president, but I won't say that, but they endorsed me for president. Brandon, just speak to him. But look, we had the safest border in history. Now we have the worst border in history. There's never been anything like it. And people are dying all over the place, including the people that are coming up in caravans.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden?
The only terrorist who's done anything crossing the border is one who came along and killed three, under his administration, killed an Al-Qaeda person come in his administration, killed three.
Now, what?
Killed 3 American soldiers. That's the only terrorist that's there. I'm not saying that no terrorist ever got through, but the idea they're emptying their prisons, we're welcoming these people, that's simply not true. There's no data to support what he said. Once again, he's exaggerating, he's lying.
What is he saying?
President Trump, staying on the topic of immigration, you've said that you're going to carry out, quote, the largest domestic deportation operation in American history, unquote. Does that mean that you will deport every undocumented immigrant in America, including those who have jobs, including those whose spouses are citizens, and including those who have lived here for decades? And if so, how will you do it?
Just 1 second. He said we killed 3 people. The people we killed.
See, that one dude
al-Baghdadi
just said, what is he talking
and Soleimani,
No
the 2
idea.
greatest terrorists, biggest terrorists anywhere in the world. And it had a huge impact on everything, not just border, on everything. He's
Everybody's
the one that killed
saying, what
people with
did
a
he
bad war,
say?
including hundreds of thousands of people dying, and also killing our citizens when they come in. We are living right now in a rat's nest. They're killing our people in New York, in California, in every state in the union because we don't have borders anymore. Every state is now a border.
There's no
And because of
crowd.
his ridiculous, insane, and very stupid policies, people are coming in and they're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen. We call
Biden
it
has
migrant
no
crime.
idea where he is.
I call it Biden migrant
He's
crime.
scared.
They're
Look at
killing
him.
our citizens at a level that we've never seen before.
Look at
and
him.
You're reading it like these 3 incredible young girls over the last few days.
He hasn't blinked in a while.
One of them, I just spoke to the mother, and they just had the funeral for this girl, 12 years
Bro,
old.
he's not blinking.
This
He
is
has not
horrible what's
blinked.
taken place. What's taken place in our country, we're literally an uncivilized country now.
Blink.
He doesn't want it
Oh
to
my
be. He
goodness.
just doesn't
There's
know.
a blink.
He
Thank God.
opened the borders. Nobody's ever seen anything like. And we have to get a lot of these people out, and we have to get them out fast because they're going to destroy our country. Just take a look at where they're living. They're living in luxury hotels in New York City and other places. Our veterans are on the street. They're dying because he doesn't care about our veterans. He doesn't care. He doesn't like the military at all, and he doesn't care about our veterans. Nobody been worse. I had the highest approval rating for veterans taking care of the VA. He has the worst. He's gotten rid of all the things that I approved, choice that I got through Congress, all of the different things I approved, they abandoned. We had by far the highest, and now it's down in less than half because he's done all these great things that we did. And I think he did it just because I approved it, which is crazy. But he has killed so many people at our border by
Thank you,
allowing
President Trump.
all of these people to come in.
President
and it's
Biden?
a very sad day in America.
President Biden, you have the mic.
Every single thing he said is a lie. Every single
Dude,
one.
that was good.
For example, veterans are a hell of a lot better off since I passed the PACT Act. 1 million of them now have insurance, and their families have it. Their families have it because what happened, whether it was Agent Orange or burn pits, they're all being covered now. And his group opposed that. We're also in a situation where we have great respect for veterans. My son spent a year in Iraq, living right next to one of those burn pits, came back with stage 4 glioblastoma. I was recently in France for D-Day, and I spoke all about those heroes that died. I went to the World War II cemetery, World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was standing with his 4-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, he was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
President Trump?
First of all, that was a made-up quote, suckers and losers. They made it up. It was in a third-rate magazine that's failing.
Look at
many of
Biden.
these
He's like,
magazines. He made that up. We put it in commercials. We've notified him. We had 19 people that said I didn't say it. And think of this. Who would say I'm at a cemetery or I'm talking about our veterans? Because nobody's taken better care. I'm so glad this came up and he brought it up. There's nobody that's taken better care of our soldiers than I have. To think that I would, in front of generals and others, say suckers and losers. We have 19 people that said it was never said by me. It was made up by him, just like Russia was made up, just like the 51 intelligence agents are made up, just like the new thing with the 16 economists are talking. It's the same thing. 51 intelligence agents said that the laptop was Russia disinformation. It wasn't. That came from his son, Hunter. It wasn't Russia disinformation. He made up the suckers and losers, so he should apologize to me right now.
A 4-star general standing to your side who was on your staff who said you said it, period. That's number one. And number two, the idea that I have to apologize to you for anything along the line. We've done more for veterans than any president has in American history. And they now are in their family. The only sacred obligation we have as a country is to care for our veterans when they come home and their families and equip them when they go to war. That's what we're doing. That's what the VA is doing now. They're doing more for veterans than ever before in our history.
All right, thank you so much.
Let's move to the topic of foreign policy. I want to begin with Russia's war against Ukraine, which is now in its third year.
I've understood 5% of what Biden has said this whole night.
Vladimir Putin says he'll
Maybe even
only
less.
end this war if Russia keeps the Ukrainian territory it has already claimed and Ukraine abandons its bid to join NATO. Are Putin's terms acceptable to you?
First of all, our veterans and our soldiers can't stand this guy. They can't stand him. They think he's the worst commander-in-chief, if that's what you call him, that we've ever had. They can't stand him. So let's get that straight. And they like me more than just about any of them. And that's based on every single bit of information. As far as Russia and Ukraine, if we had a real president, the president that knew, that was respected by Putin, he would have never invaded Ukraine. A lot of people are dead right now, much more than people know. You know, they talk about numbers. You can double those numbers, maybe triple those numbers. He did nothing to stop it. In fact, I think he encouraged Russia from going in. I'll tell you what happened. He was so
Yes,
bad with
sir,
Afghanistan.
it's
It was
real.
such a horrible,
Dementia
embarrassing, most
dementia
embarrassing moment in the history
Oh
of our
God,
country.
you're having a dementia
Dude,
moment.
Dude, there's been too many fuck-ups. I've been through too many beers already.
Like I fired the one that you mentioned, and so he's got no love lost. But he should have fired those generals. No general got fired for the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, Afghanistan, where we left billions of dollars of equipment behind. We lost 13 beautiful soldiers, and 38 soldiers were obliterated. And by the way, we left people behind, too. We left American citizens behind. When Putin saw that, he said, you know what? I think we're going to go in and maybe take this was his dream. I talked to him about it, his dream.
His dream.
The difference is he never would have invaded Ukraine. Never. Just like Israel would have never been invaded in a million years by Hamas. You know why? Because Iran was broke with me. I wouldn't let anybody do business with them. They ran out of money. They were broke. They had no money for Hamas. They had no money for anything. No money for terror. That's why you had no terror at all during my administration. This place, the whole world is blowing up under him.
President Biden?
Malarkey.
I honestly, CNN's doing great. They're giving Trump so much
No,
more
they're
time.
doing okay.
They're doing okay. They're giving Trump so much more time than Biden.
For a number of these troops. And
They're
he
cutting him
was
off because they know he's going
when he was
to shut down.
They don't want him to
He was
ramble.
attacked. He said they're just having headaches. That's all it is. He didn't do a thing when the attack took place, number one. Number two, we got over 100,000 Americans
look at your note
and
card.
others out of Afghanistan during that airlift.
He always does
Number
that.
three,
Number one, number
we
two,
found
number
ourselves in
three.
a situation where, if you take a look at what Trump did in Ukraine, this guy told Trump, do whatever you want, and do whatever you want. And that's exactly what Trump did to Putin, encourage him, do whatever you want. And he went in. And listen to what he said when he went in. He was going to take Kyiv in 5 days, remember? Because it's part of the old Soviet Union.
You know what it is?
That's what he wanted to reestablish. Kyiv.
Am I allowed to talk over Biden?
He didn't do it at all. He wasn't able to get it done. And they've lost
We have a lot to talk
troops.
about.
500,000 troops.
President Trump, as
I never
come back
said
to you
that.
for 1 minute, I just want to go back to my original question, which is, are Putin's terms acceptable to you? Keeping the territory in Ukraine?
No, they're not acceptable. But look, this is a war that never should have started. If we had a leader in this war, he let everybody
100%
along.
agree.
He's given $200 billion now or more to Ukraine. He's given $200 billion. That's a lot of money. I don't think there's ever been anything like it. Every time that Zelensky comes to this country, he walks away with $60 billion. He's the greatest salesman ever. And I'm not knocking him. I'm not knocking anything. I'm only saying the money that we're spending on this war, and we shouldn't be spending, it should have never happened. I will have that war settled between Putin and Zelensky as president-elect before I take office on January 20th. I'll have that war settled. People being killed so needlessly, so stupidly, and I will get it settled, and I'll get it settled fast before I take office.
What happened?
Biden, you have a minute.
Biden just doing this.
The fact is that Putin is a war criminal. He's killed thousands and thousands of people. And he has made one thing clear. He wants to reestablish what was part of the Soviet Empire, not just a piece. He wants all of Ukraine. That's what he wants. And then you think he'll stop there? Do you think he'll stop when if he takes Ukraine? What do you think happens?
They trying to make Trump out as
what do you think happens
Putin?
to those NATO countries? And so if you want a war, you ought to find
What
out
is
he's gonna do,
happening?
because if in fact he does what he says and walks away, and by the way, all that money we give Ukraine are from weapons we make here in the United States. We give them the weapons, not the money at this point. And
Not the money?
Our NATO allies have produced as much funding for Ukraine as we have. That's why we're strong.
He lost. He's
Thank
lost
you.
the
Moving on to the
election.
Middle East. In October, Hamas attacked Israel,
All right, real quick.
killing more than 1,000
Why are they worried more about?
taking
Yes, sir,
hundreds of
legendary.
hostages.
Why are they
Among
worried
those
more
held
about
and
Trump
thought to
solving
still
the
be
problem
alive are
than
5
Biden
Americans.
starting the problem?
Israel's response has
Exactly.
killed thousands of
Exactly.
Palestinians and
That's how
created
this
a
feels.
humanitarian crisis in Gaza. President Biden, you've put forward a proposal to resolve this conflict, but so far Hamas has not released the remaining hostages, and Israel is continuing its military offensive in Gaza. So what additional leverage will you use to get Hamas and Israel to end the war? You have 2 minutes.
Number one, everyone from the United Nations Security Council straight through to the G7 to the Israelis and Netanyahu himself have endorsed the plan I put forward. Endorsed the plan I put forward. There's 3 stages to it. The first stage is trade the hostages for a ceasefire. Second phase is a ceasefire with additional conditions. The third phase is the end of the war. The only one who wants the war to continue is Hamas, number one. They're the only ones standing out. We're still pushing hard to get them to accept. In the meantime, what's happened? In Israel, we're finding that the only thing I've denied Israel was 2,000-pound bombs. They don't work very well in populated areas. They kill a lot of innocent people. We're providing Israel with all the weapons they need and when they need them. And by the way, I'm the guy that organized the world against Iran when they had a full-blown intercontinental ballistic missile attack on Israel. No one was hurt. No one Israeli was accidentally killed, and it just stopped. We saved Israel. We are the biggest producer of support for Israel of anyone in the world. And so there are 2 different things. Hamas cannot be allowed to be continued. We continue to send our experts and our intelligence people as to how they can get Hamas like we did bin Laden. You don't have to do it. And by the way, they've been greatly weakened, Hamas, greatly weakened, and they should be. They should be eliminated. But you've got to be careful for using certain weapons among population centers.
Just going back to Ukraine for 1 second. We have an ocean separating us. The European nations together have spent $100 billion or maybe more than that, less than us. Why doesn't he call them and say, you got to put up your money like I did with NATO? I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. The Secretary General of NATO said Trump did the most incredible job I've ever seen. They wouldn't have any. They were going out of business. We were spending almost 100% of the money was paid by us. He didn't do that. He's getting all. You got to ask these people to put up the money. We're over $100 billion more spent, and it has a bigger impact on them because of location, because we have an ocean in between. You got to ask them. As far as Israel and Hamas, Israel's the one that wants to go. He said the only one that wants to keep going is Hamas. Actually, Israel is the one, and you should let him go and let him finish the job. He doesn't want to do it. He's become like a Palestinian, but they don't like him because he's a very bad Palestinian. He's a weak one.
President Biden, you have a minute.
I've never heard so much foolishness. This is a guy who wants to get out of NATO. You're going to stay.
I've never heard so much voices.
The idea
There's
that
some shit going on
our
in his
strength
head.
lies in our alliances as well. It may be a big ocean, but are we ever able to avoid a war in Europe, a major war in Europe? What happens if, in fact, you have Putin continue to go into NATO? We have an Article 5 agreement. Attack on one is attack on all. You want to start the nuclear war he keeps talking about, go ahead. Let Putin go in and control Ukraine.
I mean, Trump,
move on to
legendary, said it perfect. Trump absolutely
he has no idea what
owned.
he's talking about. And by the way, I got 50 other nations around the world to support Ukraine, including Japan and South Korea, because they understand that this kind of dislocation has a serious threat to the whole world peace. No major war in Europe has ever been able to be contained just to Europe.
President Trump, just to follow up, would you support the creation of an independent
Why did they ask him
Palestinian
the
state
question?
in order to achieve peace in the region?
I'd have to see, but before we do that, the problem we have is that we spend all the money. So they kill us on trade. I made great trade deals with the European nations because if you add them up, they're about the same size economically. Their economy is about the same size as the United States. And they were no cars, they don't want anything that we have, but we're supposed to take their cars, their food, their everything, their agriculture. I changed that. But the big thing I changed is they don't want to pay. And the only reason that he can play games with NATO is because I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. I said, and he's right about this, I said, no, I'm not going to support NATO if you don't pay. They asked me that question, would you guard us against Russia at a very secret meeting of the 28 states at that time, nations at that time? And I said, no, if you don't pay, I won't do that. And you know what happened? Billions and billions of dollars came flowing in the next day and the next months. But now we're in the same position. We're paying everybody's bills.
Let's turn to the issue of democracy. Former President Trump, I want to ask you about January 6, 2021.
Oh, here's where CNN goes.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, here we go.
The constitutionally mandated counting of electoral votes. As president, you swore an oath to, quote, preserve, protect, and defend, unquote, the Constitution. What do you say to voters who believe that you violated that oath through your actions and inaction on January 6th and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I don't think too many believe that. And let me tell you about January 6th. On January 6th, we had a great border. Nobody coming through, very few. On January 6th, we were energy independent. On January 6th, we had the lowest taxes ever. We had the lowest regulations ever. On January 6th, we were respected all over the world. All over the world, we were respected. And then he comes in, and we're now laughed at. We're like a bunch of stupid people. What happened to the United States' reputation under this man's leadership is horrible, including weaponization, which I'm sure at some point you'll be talking about, where he goes after his political opponent because he can't beat him fair and square.
You have 80 seconds left. My question was, what do you say to those voters who believe that you violated your constitutional oath through your actions and inaction on January 6, 2021, and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I didn't say that to anybody. I said peacefully and patriotically. And Nancy Pelosi, if you just watched the news from 2 days ago, on tape to her daughter, who's a documentary filmmaker, they say, but she's saying, oh, no, it's my responsibility. I was responsible for this because I offered her 10,000 soldiers or National Guard, and she turned them down. And the mayor in writing, by the way, the mayor in writing turned it down, the mayor of D.C. They turned it down. I offered 10,000 because
Rambo just spilled my
see,
fucking beer
I had
again.
Virtually nothing to do. They asked me to go make a speech. I could see what was happening. Everybody was saying they're going to be there on January 6th. They're going to be there. And I said, you know what? There's a lot of people coming. You could feel it. You could feel it, too, and you could feel it. And I said, they ought to have some National Guard or whatever. And I offered it to her. And she now admits that she turned it down. And it was the same day she was, I don't know, she can't be very happy with her daughter because it made her into a liar. She said, I take full responsibility for January 6th.
President Biden?
Look, he encouraged those folks to go up on Capitol Hill.
Number one.
I sat in the dining room off the Oval Office. He sat there for 3 hours watching being begged by his vice president and a number of his colleagues on the Republican side as well to do something, to call for a stop, to end it. Instead, they talked about these people being patriots and great patrons of America. In fact, he says he'll now forgive them for what they've done. They've been convicted. He says he wants to commute their sentences and say that no. But he went to every single court in the nation. I don't know how many cases, scores of cases, including the Supreme Court, and they said, no, this guy is responsible for doing what was done. He did do a damn thing, and these people should be in jail, and they should be the ones who are being held accountable. And he wants to let them all out. And now he says if he loses again, such a whiner that he is, that it could be a bloodbath.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
What in the fuck did he just say?
Some people that are so innocent, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. What you have done, how you've destroyed the lives of so many people. When they ripped down Portland, when they ripped down many other cities, you go to Minnesota, Minneapolis, what they've done there, with the fires all over the city. If I didn't bring in the National Guard, that city would have been destroyed. When you look at all of they took over big chunks of Seattle. I was all set to bring in the National Guard. They heard that, they saw them coming, and they left immediately. What he said about this whole subject is so off. Peacefully patriotic. One other thing, the Unselect Committee, which is basically two horrible Republicans that are all gone now, out of office, and Democrats, all Democrats, they destroyed and deleted all of the information they found because they found out we were right. We were right. And they deleted and destroyed all of the information. They should go to jail for that. If a Republican did that, they'd go to jail.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, I want to give you a minute.
The only person on this stage is a convicted felon is the man I'm looking at right now. And the fact of the matter is, what he's telling you is simply not true. The fact is that there was no effort on his part to stop what was going on up in Capitol Hill. And all those people, every one of those who were convicted, deserves to be convicted. The idea that they didn't kill somebody, just went in and broke down doors, broke the windows, occupied offices, turned over desks, turned them over statues. The idea that those people are patriots? Come on. When I asked him the first two debates we had, first time around, I said,
could not agree more, Legendary. There's also footage of cops going in and changing and coming out as MAGA people and fucking people up.
You denounce the people who attacked that Capitol. What are you going to do?
Whole thing is staged.
I'm going to give you a minute, President Trump, for a follow-up question I have. After a jury convicted you of 34 felonies last month, you said if reelected, you would, quote, have every right to go after, unquote, your political opponents. You just talked about members of the Select Committee on January 6th going to jail. Your main political opponent is standing on stage with you tonight. Can you clarify exactly what it means about you feeling you have every right to go after your political opponents?
Well, I said my retribution is going to be success. We're going to make this country successful again, because right now it's a failing nation. My retribution is going to be success. But when he talks about a convicted felon, his son is a convicted felon at a very high level. His son is convicted.
Hey, Mitchell Hunter. Is that a finished drink?
Convicted before, but his Justice Department let the statute of limitations lapse on the most important things. But he could be a convicted felon as soon as he gets out of office.
Biden froze up earlier, so that's a drink.
Things that he's done. He's done horrible things. All of the death toys at the border. Telling the Ukrainian people that we're going to want $1 billion or you change the prosecutor. Otherwise, you're not getting $1 billion. If I ever said that, that's quid pro quo. That we're not going to do anything. We're not going to give you $1 billion unless you change your prosecutor having to do with his son. This man is a criminal. This man, you're lucky. You're lucky. I did nothing wrong. We'd have a system that was rigged and disgusting. I did nothing wrong.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, you have said, I'm coming right to you, sir. You want to respond? Go ahead. I'll give you a minute to respond.
The idea that I did anything wrong relative to what you're talking about is outrageous. It's simply a lie, number one. Number two, the idea that you have a right to seek retribution against any American just because you're president is wrong. It's simply wrong. No president's ever spoken like that before. No president in our history has spoken like that before. Number three, the crimes that you are still charged with, and think of all the civil penalties you have. How many billions of dollars do you owe in civil penalties for molesting a woman in public, for doing a whole range of things, of having sex with a porn star on the night while your wife was pregnant? I mean, what are you talking about? You have the morals,
of an alley cat.
Give your minute, sir.
I didn't have sex with a porn star, number one. Number two, that was a case that was started and moved. They moved a high-ranking official.
I need that soundbite.
Into the Manhattan DA's office to start that case.
I didn't have
that
sex with
case
a porn
is going
star.
to be appealed and won. We had a very terrible judge, a horrible judge, Democrat.
That's fucking awesome.
The prosecutor were all high-ranking Democrats, appointed people, and both the civil and the criminal. He basically went after his political opponent because he thought it was going to damage me. But when the public found out about these cases, because they understand it better than he does, he has no idea what these cases are. But when they found out about these cases, you know what they did? My poll numbers went up, way up. You know that because you're reporting it. And we took in more money in the last 2 weeks than we've ever taken in the history of any campaign. I don't think any campaign has ever taken. Hundreds of millions of dollars came pouring in because the public knows it's a scam and it's a guy that's after his political opponent because he can't win fair and square.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, you have said, quote, Donald Trump and his MAGA Republicans are determined to destroy American democracy. Do you believe that the tens of millions of Americans who are likely to vote for President Trump will be voting against American democracy?
The more they know about what he's done, yes. The more they know about what he's done. And there's a lot more coming. He's got a lot of cases down the road coming around. He's got a whole range of issues he has to face. I don't know what the juries will do, but I do know he has a real problem. And so the fact that, could you ever think you heard any president say that I'm going to seek retribution? Did you ever hear any president say that I thought Hitler had some good ideas? What got me involved to run in the first place after my son had died, I decided in Iraq, because of Iraq, I said I wasn't going to run again until I saw what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia. People coming out of the woods carrying swastikas on torches and singing the same anti-Semitic bile they sang when back in Germany. And the young woman got killed. I spoke to
Was that him comparing Trump to Hitler?
I asked him, they said, what do you think of those people? The ones who got killed, the one who tried to stop it, and the ones he said, I think they're fine people on both sides. What American president would ever say, Nazis coming out of fields, carrying torches, singing the same anti-Semitic bile, carrying swastikas, were fine people? This is the guy who says Hitler's done some good things. I'd like to know what they are. The good things Hitler's done, that's what he said. This guy has no sense.
Are we carrying around swastikas?
President Trump.
Jake, both
that
of you know that story's
people
been totally wiped out because when you see the sentence, it said 100% exoneration on this. So he just keeps it going. He says he ran because of Charlottesville. He didn't run because of Charlottesville. He ran because it was his last chance. He's not equipped to be president. You know it, and I know it. It's ridiculous. We have a debate. We're trying to justify his presidency. His presidency is, without question, the worst presidency in the history of our country.
Oh, my goodness.
We shouldn't be having a debate about it. There's nothing to debate. He made up the Charlottesville story, and you'll see it's debunked all over the place. Every anchor every reasonable anchor has debunked it. And just the other day it came out where it was fully debunked. It's a nonsense story. He knows that. And he didn't run because of Charlottesville. He used that as an excuse to run.
President Biden.
And debunked. It happened. All you have to do is listen to what was said at the time. And the idea that somehow that's the only reason I ran. I ran because I was worried a guy like this guy could get elected. If he thought they were good people coming out of that forest, carrying those woods.
That office, that forced?
He didn't deserve to be president.
Forced? He just confirmed the deep swamp.
And the idea that he's talking about all this being fabricated, we saw with our own eyes. We saw what happened on January 6th. We saw the people breaking through the windows. We saw people occupying his own vice president. Look, there's a reason why 40 of his 44 top cabinet officers refused to endorse him this time. His vice president hasn't endorsed him this time. So why? Why? They know him well. They serve with him. Why are they not endorsing him?
Thank you, President Biden.
Oh, Trump doesn't get to dispute those?
CNN presidential debate.
Dude.
That's rough.
Oh my goodness. There is so much to talk about. Dude, this is crazy. This is the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. I swear to God, I feel like I am watching Jeopardy. Dude.
Shoot, we only got 40 more minutes.
Dude. This is insane.
Tom, is that you working the camera?
Trump is
holy
pounding
shit.
this dude in the ass.
Your morning routine?
Zach,
I'm turning it down right now.
Zach,
Watch.
I'm on mute,
Weekdays at
Zach.
7.
All right,
Yeah,
we're
turn
gonna bring in a fresh face here, and where? Oh wait.
Oh, is Jarrett gone?
Shit. Wait.
Oh, I'm gonna leave you unmuted, Zach, for the whole thing.
Kayak compares both rental cars and car sharing
All
sites
right,
to
Zach.
find you a rental
So
car.
we're gonna bring
Download
you
now.
in here.
Whatever I had left.
You've been watching,
The
right?
industry is to get you
Yeah, I've been
All right,
you've
so
been listening to.
give us your opinion so far.
Oh, it's pretty rough. It's
Rough for who,
Honestly.
dude? Get into the details. Come on, man.
Oh, it's just I don't know. Biden just doesn't really. I feel a lot of the faces he makes and the him freezing up. I feel like he doesn't actually really know what he's talking about. I can't really connect a lot of the points that he's making to actual
I don't
things
even
that I have.
understand what he's saying.
Trump straight up said, I don't know what that guy's saying. He doesn't even know what he's saying. It's been really hard because it's like, can we stay on the one track? Can we answer the question? He has to. He goes
I'm
like
gonna
4
go
different
like
points.
with what Benny Johnson said. We got like robot number 4 out of 7
They did
for the
everything
Bidens
to
tonight.
make sure we were run off that land.
I feel like
Communities are uniting to continue
you should
the
look at that
fight
screenshot I sent. That was pretty
Ownership
funny.
is powerful.
to keep their land.
I feel like there's no way that a
alive.
single person
My
watching
children
this
play on land that
is.
we own. It means everything.
That's the thing. No one who actually votes for Biden watches these, and I'm pretty confident when I say that.
Like, this is crazy. Like, every
People with
answer.
developmental
I
disabilities
mean,
were once
Trump.
sequestered by the hundreds of
Until the
thousands in
end, when he
institutions.
started getting a little defensive there, I mean, I love it. Like, Biden, get the fuck out of here. But he was given great answers.
Disability activists have
Yeah, I'll
since
give him
torn
that. I
down
don't think I could
barriers
answer any of
blocking
these
them from
questions.
living
It's
at
like
home or in the
he snaps
community.
onto it. He's got an answer immediately. He's doing a good job.
To provide community-based treatment
Oh my
for
God,
persons
Biden
with mental
Harris
disabilities.
Twitter
But of
says
the 16,000 people who remain in state
Trump claims his
operated
economy is the best
institutions,
economy in the history of our
half are in
country.
5
Fact check, this is a
states, and
lie.
Illinois
Trump left
is
office
one
with
of
the
them.
worst jobs record since the Great
Dude,
Depression.
they keep saying that, but it's COVID. They didn't count the jobs from home. So
was
obviously
Democrat-
jobs went down. It's fucking stupid. And then Biden's like, oh, jobs rose. No shit. Everybody had to go back
No.
to the office.
Biden has record job growth in the public sector right now because they've hired like a record number of IRS agents and government employees.
Government
And
employees don't do shit.
Trump had bad job numbers at COVID because Democratic governors shut down their cities and said that people weren't essential workers when they were running their own restaurants and stores.
See, I'm the worst person
Salons.
to talk to about that. 'Cause I'm blue collar. Fuck.
Georgia. Let's talk about persistent
Yeah, I had to go to
challenges
work.
you both faced
Hey,
in your first
I go to a
terms,
trade
and
job
you'd
every
certainly
single
face
day,
again
6
in the
a.m.
second
Let's
term.
get it.
President Biden, while
I don't
black
get to sleep
unemployment
until
dropped
fucking
to a record low under your presidency, black families still earned far less than white families.
We're back.
Black mothers are still 3 times
I was just
more
hoping to hear him
likely
say,
to
"Come on,
die
man,"
from
a few more
pregnancy-related
times.
causes,
He
and
said
black
malarkey.
Americans are in prison at
he
5
did.
times the rate of white Americans.
I did get one.
What
Come
do you
on,
say to
man.
black voters who are disappointed that you haven't
Good.
made more progress?
They acknowledge they made a lot of progress, number one. The fact of the matter is there's more.
I was listening to y'all talk about it. I was like, I should just pull it up.
Time in history. Number two,
It's actually been kind of entertaining.
Black unemployment is the lowest
All right,
it's
Zach,
been in a
shush.
long time. Number three, we're trying to provide
Everybody
housing
shush.
for black Americans.
See how bad he
And
fucks this up.
Segregation that exists among these corporate corporations that collude to keep people out of their houses. And in addition to that, we
Legendary
find
says his eyes are
impact
lit up
of,
again. He definitely took some fucking lines during the break.
choice that black families have to make relative to child care is incredibly difficult. When we did the first major piece of legislation in the past, I was able to reduce black child care costs. I cut them in half. We got to make sure we provide for child care costs. We got to make
That's
sure
just telling people to
provide
get
their
married
childcare
and
protections,
have a child.
increase economic growth because more people can be in the job market. So there's more to be done, considerably more to be done. But we've done a great deal so far, and I'm not letting up, and they know it.
You have 49 seconds left. What do you say to black voters who are disappointed with the progress so far?
I say I don't blame them for being disappointed. Inflation.
Damn, she's struggling too.
Badly. For example, I provided.
Honestly, the girl moderator is not bad because she tried to hush up the dude for Trump when he was trying to say something.
To be able to buy their first home so they can get started. I made sure that we're in a situation where all those black families and those black individuals who had to take out student loans that were ballooning, that if they were engaged in nursing, doctor, and anything having to do with volunteerism.
There you go.
If they paid their bills for 10 years on their student debt, all the rest is forgiven after 10 years. Millions have benefited from that. And we're going to do a whole lot more for black families.
Thank you, President Trump.
Can't do shit.
And he caused the inflation. He's blaming inflation, and he's right. It's been very bad. He caused the inflation, and it's killing black families and Hispanic families and just about everybody. It's killing people. They can't buy groceries anymore. They can't.
I love how sharp Trump is.
Doubled,
like, they don't even get to
tripled,
3 by
quadrupled.
the time he can.
They can't live.
Start
They're
talking.
not living anymore.
He's already answering
He caused
the
this
question.
inflation. I gave him a country with essentially no inflation. It was perfect. It was so good. All he had to do is leave it alone. He destroyed it with his Green New scam and all this money that's being thrown out the window. He caused inflation. As sure as you're sitting there, the fact is that his big kill on the black people is the millions of people that he's allowed to come in through the border. They're taking black jobs.
Oh, damn
now.
right he
And
is
it could be
legendary.
18, it could be 19,
Very
and even
intelligent.
20 million people.
100%
They're taking
agreed.
black jobs and they're taking Hispanic jobs, and you haven't seen it yet, but you're going to see something.
Dude's a
that's gonna be
businessman,
the
not
worst
a
in our
politician.
history.
Thank you.
what we
President
need.
Biden.
There was no inflation when I became president. You know why? The economy was flat on its back. 15% unemployment.
Yeah,
He
I saw
decimated
those.
the economy. Absolutely decimated the economy. That's why there was no inflation at the time. There were no jobs. We provided thousands of millions of jobs for individuals who are in all communities, including minority communities. We made sure that they have health insurance. We have covered, the ACA has increased. I made sure that they're $8,000 per person in a family to get written off for health care. But this guy wants to eliminate that. They tried 50 times. He wants to get rid of the ACA again, and they're going to try again if they win. You find ourselves in a position where the idea that we're not doing anything, we put more police on the street than any administration has. He wants to cut the cops. We're providing for equity and
Everything
making
is
sure
always
people
so
have a
backwards.
shot to make it. There's a lot going on, but in inflation, he caused it by his tremendous malfeasance in the way he handled the pandemic.
Thank you. Another persistent challenge is the climate crisis. 2023 was the hottest year in recorded history, and communities across the country are confronting the devastating effects of extreme heat, intensifying wildfires, stronger hurricanes, and rising sea levels. Former President Trump, you've vowed to end your opponent's climate initiatives, but will you take any action as president to slow the climate crisis?
Well, let me just go back to what he said about the police, how close the police are to him. Almost every police group in the nation from every state is supporting Donald J. Trump. Almost every police group. And what he's done to the black population is horrible, including the fact that for 10
Look
years
at
he called them
Biden
super
looking like
predators.
he's
In the
surprised.
1990s. We can't forget that. Super predators was his name, and he called it to them for 10, and they've taken great offense at it, and now they see it happening. But when they see what I did for criminal justice reform and for the historically black colleges and universities, where I funded them and got them all funded, and the opportunity zones with Tim, as you know, Tim Scott was incredible. He did a great job, great senator from South Carolina. He came to me with the idea, and it was a great idea. It's one of the most successful economic development acts ever in the country, opportunity zones. And the biggest beneficiary are blacks. And that's why we have the best numbers with them in maybe ever. They're saying ever. I read this morning where ever, the best numbers. He's lost much of the black population. because he's done a horrible job for black people. He's also done a horrible job for Hispanics. But wait till you see these millions of people pouring into our country, and they're going to take the jobs. And it's already started, and you haven't seen anything yet. It's a disaster.
38 seconds left. President Trump, will you take any action as president to slow the climate crisis?
So I want absolutely immaculate clean water, and I want absolutely clean air, and we had it. We had H2O. We had the best numbers ever, and we were using all forms of energy, all forms, everything. And yet, during my 4 years, I had the best environmental numbers ever. And my top environmental people gave me that statistic just before I walked on the stage, actually.
I don't know where the hell he's been. The idea that anything he said is true. I've passed the most extensive climate change legislation in history. We find ourselves, and by the way, black colleges. I came up with $15 billion for HBCUs, historic black universities and colleges, because they don't have the kind of contributors that they have to build these laboratories and the like. Any black student is capable in college of doing any white student can do. They just don't have the money. But now they'll be able to get those jobs in high tech. We're in a situation where the idea that he is claiming to have...
Did you say black people don't have money?
The cleanest water? He hadn't done a damn thing with the environment. He pulled out of the Paris Peace Accord, Climate Accord. I immediately joined it because if we reach 1.5 degrees Celsius at any
honestly, I can't fucking tell you because I can't understand.
Humanity is climate change, and he didn't do a damn thing about it. He wants to undo all that I've done.
The Paris Accord was going to cost us $1 trillion, and China nothing, and Russia nothing, and India nothing. It was a ripoff of the United States. And I ended it because I didn't want to waste that money because they treat us horribly. We were the only ones who was costing us money. Nobody else was paying into it. And it was a disaster. But everything that he said just now, I'll give you an example. I heard him say before insulin. I'm the one that got the insulin down for the seniors. I took care of the seniors. What he's doing is destroying all of our medical programs because the migrants coming in, they want everybody. And look, I have the biggest heart on the stage. I guarantee you that. And I want to take care of people. But we're destroying our country. They're taking over our schools, our hospitals, and they're going to be taking over Social Security. He is destroying Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
The idea is that we, in fact...
100% agree, Legendary. Biden is a fucking lunatic.
We're not members of the Paris Accord. How can we do anything if we're not able to... The United States can't get its pollution under control. One of the largest polluters in the world, number one. We're making significant progress. By 2035, we will have cut pollution in half.
Is he picking his nose?
We've made significant progress, and we're continuing to make progress.
I think he just sniffed the pen, maybe?
Deal with climate
change.
Peace Corps.
Quick release cocaine.
I don't know.
Moving in directions that are going to significantly change the elements of cause of pollution. But the idea that he claims that he has the biggest heart up here and he's really concerned about pollution and about climate, I've not seen any indication of that. And by the way, with regard to prescription drugs, one company agreed that they would reduce the price to $35, which I was calling for, one, voluntarily. I made sure every company in the world, every pharmaceutical company, cannot have to pay.
Thank you.
And by the way,
so every day, millions of Americans struggle just to make ends meet. For many older Americans, Social Security provides a critical lifeline. President Biden, if nothing is done to Social Security, seniors will see their benefits cut.
By the way, what? And by the way, what?
Specific step that you're willing to take to keep Social Security solvent?
Yes, make the very wealthy begin to pay their fair share. Right now, everybody making under $170,000 pays 6% of their income, of their paycheck, every single time they get a paycheck from the time the first one they get when they're 18 years old. The idea that ththey're going to, I'm proposing that everybody, the millionaires pay 1%. 1%. So no one I would not raise the cost.
I swear to God, if he says one more time.
After that, I began to make the wealthy begin to pay their fair share by increasing from 1% beyond to be able to guarantee the program for life.
So you still have 82 seconds left. Are there any other measures that you think that would be able to help keep Social Security solvent, or is that one enough?
Well, no, that one enough will keep it solvent. But the biggest thing will do if we defeat this man, because he wants to get rid of Social Security. He thinks there's plenty to cut in Social Security. He's wanting to cut Social Security and Medicare both times. And that's what. And if you look at the program put forward by the House Republican Caucus that he supports, is
crazy.
Want to cut it as well. The idea that we don't need to protect our seniors is ridiculous. And by the way, the American public has greater health care coverage today than ever before. And on the ACA, as I said, you're in a circumstance where 400,000 people, 40 million people would not have insurance because they have a pre-existing condition. Only thing that allows them to have that insurance is the fact that they, in fact, are part of the ACA. And by the way, the other thing is we're in a situation where we talk about education for black communities. I've raised the amount of money for Pell Grants by another $8,000. So anybody making under $70,000 a year is going to be able to get $15,000 toward their tuition. He just doesn't know what he's talking about.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump.
So I've dealt with politicians all my life.
These next 4 years are going to
be
be
of the
banging.
Equation for the last 8 years.
I cannot wait.
I've never seen anybody lie like this guy. He lies. I've never seen it. He can look you in the face. About so many other things too. And we mentioned the laptop. We mentioned Russia, Ukraine. Everything he does is a lie. It's misinformation and disinformation.
Bring up the laptop, please.
The losers and suckers story that he made up is a total lie on the military. It's a disgrace. But Social Security, he's destroying it because millions of people are pouring into our country, and they're putting them onto Social Security. They're putting them onto Medicare, Medicaid. They're putting them in our hospitals. They're taking the place of our citizens. What they're doing to the VA, to our veterans, is unbelievable. Our veterans are living in the street, and these people are living in luxury hotels. He doesn't know what he's doing, and it's really coming back. I've never seen such anger in our country before.
President Biden?
The idea that veterans are not being taken care of, I told you before. And by the way, when I said suckers and losers, he acknowledged after that he fired that general. That general got fired because he's the one that acknowledged that that's what he said. He was the one standing with Trump when he said it, number one. Number two, the idea that we're going to be in a situation where
go back to the number.
Didn't he fire him for lying about it?
Aliens are coming into the country and taking away our jobs. There's a reason why we have the fastest growing economy in the world. The reason why we have the most successful economy in the world. We're doing better than any other nation in the world. And by the way, those 15 Nobel laureates he talked about being phony, those 15 Nobel laureates, economists, they all said that if Trump is reelected, we're likely to have a recession. And inflation is going to increasingly go up. And by the way, worst president in history, 159 presidential scholars voted him the worst president in the history of the United States of America.
President Biden, thank you so much. Let's turn to the cost of child care, which many American families struggle to afford. President Trump, both you and President Biden have tried to address this
Aren't we
issue.
literally in a recession?
The average cost of child care in this country has risen to more than $11,000 a year per child. For many families,
if Trump was reelected, we'd be in a recession and inflation would go up.
In your second term, what would
Didn't they
you do to make
redefine a
childcare
recession
more affordable?
so that we weren't technically in one?
Just to go back,
But we're technically in a recession right
because
now.
he was no good. And if he said that, that's why he made it up. But we have 19 people that said I didn't say it, and they're very highly respected, much more so than him. The other thing is, he doesn't fire people. He never fired people. I've never seen him fire anybody. I did fire a lot. I fired Comey because he was no good. I fired a lot of the top people at the FBI, drained the swamp. They were no good. Not easy to fire people. You'd pay a price for it, but they were no good. I inherited these people. I didn't put him there. I didn't put Comey there. He was no good. I fired him. This guy hasn't fired anybody. He never fires. He should have fired every military man that was involved with that the Afghanistan horror show, the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. He didn't fire. Did you fire anybody? Did you fire anybody that's on the border that's allowed us to have the worst border in the history of the world? Did anybody get fired for allowing 18 million people, many from prisons, many from mental institutions? Did you fire anybody that allowed our country to be destroyed? Joe, our country is being destroyed as you and I sit up here and waste
Yes, sir,
all the
Mackey.
time on this
President,
debate.
by
This
the
shouldn't
way.
be a debate. He is the worst president. He just said about me because I said it. But look, he's the worst president in the history of our country. He's destroyed our country. Now all of a sudden he's trying to get a little tough on the border. He came out with a nothing deal, and it reduced it a little bit, like this much. It's insignificant. He wants open borders. He wants our country to either be destroyed or he wants to pick up those people as voters. And I don't think we just can't let it happen. If he wins this election, our country doesn't have a chance, not even a chance, of coming out of this rut. We probably won't have a country left anymore. That's how bad it is. He is the worst in history by far.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden?
We are the most admired country in the world. We're the United States of America. There's nothing beyond our capacity. We have the finest military in the history of the world, the finest in the history of the world. No one thinks we're weak. No one wants to screw around with us. Nobody. Number one. Number two, the idea.
Here we
that
go
we're
back
talking
with the
about
numbers.
most presidents. I wasn't joking. Look it up or go online. 159 or 58, don't hold me the exact number, presidential historians, they've had meetings and they voted who's the worst president in American history. Best to worst. They said he was the worst in all of American history. That's a fact. That's not conjecture. He can argue they're wrong, but that's what they voted. The idea that he is doing anything to deal with child care, he did virtually nothing to child care. We should significantly increase the child care tax credit. We should significantly increase the availability of women and men or single parents to be able to go back to work. And we should encourage businesses to have.
Thank you, President Biden.
Facilities.
President Trump, the question was about what would you do to make child care more affordable?
They cut Biden off again.
We have polling. We have other things that they rate him the worst because what he's done is so bad. And they rate me. I'll show you. I will show you. And they rate me one of the best. Okay. And if I'm given another 4 years, I will be the best. I think I'll be the best. Nobody's ever created an economy like us. Nobody ever cut taxes like us. He's the only one I know. He wants to raise your taxes by 4 times. He wants to raise everybody's taxes by 4 times. He wants the Trump tax cuts to expire. So everybody, including the two of you, are going to pay 4 to 5 times. Nobody ever heard of this before. All my life, I'd grow up and I'd see politicians talking about cutting taxes. When we cut taxes, as I said, we did more business.
Let me
Apple
check
and
my
all
note
these
card.
companies, they were bringing money back into our country. The worst president in history by far, and everybody
Or he's taking a
knows
quick
it.
nap.
President Biden?
Look, the fact of the matter is that he's dead wrong about. He's increased the tariff. He will increase the taxes on middle class people. I said I'd never raise a tax on anybody making less than $400,000.
What?
I didn't. But this tariff is 10% tariffs. Everything coming into the country, you know what the economists say? That's going to cost the average American $2,500 a year more because they're going to have to pay the difference in food and all the things that are important. Number two, he's in a situation where he talks about
Back to
how he
numbering.
has not raised. He's somehow helped the middle class. The middle class have been devastated by you. Now you want a new tax cut of $5 trillion over the next 10 years, which is going to fundamentally bankrupt the country. You had the largest deficit of any president in American history, number one. Number two, you have not, in fact, made any contact, any progress with China. We are at the lowest trade deficit with China.
Border Patrol
since
Union
2010.
tweeted.
Thank you, President Biden. Thank you, President Biden.
To be clear, we never and have never will endorse Trump. I mean,
priority in your first term,
Biden.
the opioid crisis, and for
The
both
Border
of you,
Patrol.
the
Biden said they
number
endorsed
of
them. They just
has gone
tweeted. They just
up.
tweeted saying we never and
Term, it
we'll
went up
never.
under your
Breaking
news.
news.
Former President Trump, despite the efforts that both of you have made, more than 100,000 Americans are dying from overdoses every year, primarily from fentanyl and other opioids. What will you do to help Americans right now in the throes
Legendary,
of addiction
you are right,
who are
bro.
struggling to
There
get
are
the
too
treatment
many
they need?
lies. And you know what's funny? Hillary can't. I will say that too.
We now have the largest deficit in the history of our country under this guy. We have the largest deficit with China. He gets paid by China. He's a Manchurian candidate. He gets money from China. So I think he's afraid to deal with them or something. But do you notice he never took out my tariffs because we bring in so much money with the tariffs that I imposed on China. He never took them away. He can't because it's too much money. It's tremendous. And we saved our steel industries, and there was more to come, but he hasn't done that. But he hasn't cut the tariffs because he can't, because it's too much money. But he's got the largest deficit in the history of our country, and he's got the worst situation with China. China's going to own us if you keep allowing them to do what they're doing to us as a country. They are killing us as a country, Joe, and you can't let that happen. You're destroying our country.
So, President Trump, you have 67 seconds left. The question was, what are you going to do to help Americans in the throes of addiction right now who are struggling to get the treatment they need?
Jake, we were doing very well at addiction until the COVID came along. We had the 2.5, almost 3 years of like nobody's ever had before, any country, in every way. And then we had to get tough. And it was the drugs pouring across the border it started to increase. We got great equipment. We bought the certain dog.
Brandon, do you have a stream
the most
up?
Incredible thing that you've ever seen, the way they can spot it. We did a lot, and we were getting very low numbers.
Look what I got.
Very, very low numbers. Then he came along. The numbers, have you seen the numbers now? It's not only the 18 million people that I believe is even low, because the gotaways, they don't even talk about gotaways. But the numbers of the amount of drugs and human trafficking in women coming across our border, the worst thing I've ever seen, at numbers that nobody's ever seen under him, because the border's so bad. But the number of drugs coming across our border now is the largest we've ever had by far.
President Trump, thank you. President Biden?
Fentanyl and byproducts fentanyl went down for a while. And I wanted to make sure we use them machines to detect fentanyl, these big machines that roll over everything that comes across the border. And it costs a lot of money. That was part of this deal we put together, this bipartisan deal. More fentanyl machines, more be able to detect drugs, more numbers of agents, more numbers of all the people at the border. And when we had that deal done, he called his Republican colleagues and said, don't do it. It's going to hurt me politically. No, he never argued it's not a good bill. It's a really good bill. We need those machines. We need those machines. And we're coming down very hard in every country in Asia in terms of precursors for fentanyl. And Mexico is working with us to make sure they don't have the technology to be able to put it together. That's what we have to do. We need those machines.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, and again, the question is about Americans in the throes of addiction right now, struggling to get the treatment they need.
Well, this does pertain to it. He ended Remain in Mexico. He ended catch and release. I made it catch and release in Mexico, not catch and release here. We had so many things that we had done, hard negotiations with Mexico, and I got it all for nothing. It's just like when you have a hostage. We always pay $6 billion for a hostage. Every time we say there's a hostage. Now we have a hostage, a Wall Street Journal reporter, I think a good guy, and he's over there because Putin is laughing at this guy, probably asking for billions of dollars for the reporter. I will have him out very quickly as soon as I take office. Before I take office, I said by literally as soon as I win the election, I will have that reporter out. He should have had him out a long time ago, but Putin's probably asking for billions and billions of dollars because this guy pays it every time. We had 2 cases where we paid $6 billion for 5 people. I got 58 people out, and I paid essentially nothing.
Thank you, President Trump. Dana?
Let's turn to concerns that voters have about each of you. President Biden, you would be 86 at the end of your second term. How do you address concerns about your capability to handle the toughest job in the world well into your 80s?
Well, first of all, I spent half my career being criticized being the youngest person in politics. I was the second youngest person ever elected to the United States Senate, and now I'm the oldest. This guy's 3 years younger and a lot less competent. I think that just look at the record. Look at what I've done. Look how I've turned around the horrible situation he left me. As I said, 50 million new jobs, 800,000 manufacturing jobs, more investment in America, over billions of dollars in private investment in enterprises that we are growing. By the way, we brought an awful lot of people. The whole idea of computer chips, we used to have 40% of the market. We invented those chips, and we lost it because he was sending people to find the cheapest jobs overseas and to bring home a product. So I went to South Korea. I convinced Samsung to invest billions of dollars here in the United States. And guess what? Those fabs, they call them, to build these chips, those fabs pay over $100,000. You don't need a college degree for them. And there's billions, about $40 billion already being invested and being built right now in the United States, creating significant jobs for Americans from all over the world.
President Biden, you have 40 seconds left. Would you like to add anything?
Yeah, I would. The idea that somehow we are this failing country. I never heard a president talk like this before. We're the envy of the world. Name me a single major country president who wouldn't trade places with the United States of America for all our problems and all our opportunities. We're the most progressive country in the world in getting things done. We're the strongest country in the world. We're a country in the world who keeps our word, and everybody trusts us. All of our allies and those who he coddles up to, from Kim Jong-un, who he sends love letters to, and Putin, etc. They don't want to screw around with us.
Thank you. Former President Trump, to follow up, you would be 82 at the end of your second term. What do you say to voters who have concerns about your capabilities to serve?
Well, I took 2 tests, cognitive tests. I aced them, both of them, as you know. We made it public. He took none. I'd like to see him take one, just one, a real easy one. Like go through the first 5 questions. He couldn't do it. But I took 2 cognitive tests. I took physical exams every year. And, you know, we knock on wood wherever we may have wood, that I'm in very good health. I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way. And I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. I think I'm in very good shape. I feel that I'm as in good a shape as I was 25, 30 years ago. Actually, I'm probably a little bit lighter, but I'm in as good a shape as I was years ago. I feel very good. I feel the same. But I was willing to take a cognitive test. And you know what? If I didn't do well, I aced him. Dr. Ronnie Jackson, who's a great guy when he was White House doctor. And then I took another one, a similar one. And one of them said they'd never seen anybody ace him.
Thank you. President Biden?
You can see he is 6'5" and only 223 pounds, or 235 pounds. Well, you said 6'4", 200. Well, anyway, that's it. Anyway, just take a look at what he says he is. Take a look at what he is. Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. The reason I got my handicap, which
take a look at what he says he is. Take a look at what he is.
But by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
That's the biggest lie that he's a 6 handicap of all.
Are we talking about golf right now?
Yeah.
8.
Dude, did Biden just say Trump can carry his bag? What the fuck?
President Trump, we're going to
let's not act like children.
To a specific concern that voters have about
what just happened
tonight. That once all legal challenges have been exhausted,
Biden is out of it.
What are we talking about right now?
Right, Zach, what the fuck?
And you will say right now that
because Trump was like, Biden challenged me to a golf, like a golf match.
Dude. Of course, I believe that.
And then
it's totally
Biden
said, and if you would see my statements that I made on Twitter at the time, and also my statement that I made in the Rose Garden, you would say it's one of the strongest statements you've ever seen. In addition to the speech I made in front of, I believe, the largest crowd I've ever spoken to, and I will tell you, nobody ever talks about that. They talk about a relatively small number of people that went to the Capitol, and in many cases were ushered in by the police. And as Nancy Pelosi said, it was her responsibility, not mine. She said that loud and clear. But the answer is, if the election is fair, free, and I want that more than anybody. And I'll tell you something. I wish he was a great president, because I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be
legendary. I don't even know.
Enjoying myself. I wouldn't be under indictment because I wouldn't have been his political opponent, because he indicted me because I was his opponent. I wish he was a great president. I would rather have that. I wouldn't be here. I don't mind being here. But the only reason I'm here is he's so bad as a president that I'm going to make America great again. We're going to make America great again. We're a failing nation right now. We're a seriously failing nation. And we're a failing nation because of him. His policies are so bad. His military policies are insane. They're insane. These are wars that will never end with him. He will drive us into World War III, and we're closer to World War III than anybody can imagine. We are very, very close to World War III, and he's driving us there. And Kim Jong-un and President Xi of China, Kim Jong-un of North Korea, all of these, Putin, they don't respect him. They don't fear him. They have nothing going with this gentleman, and he's going to drive us into World War III.
You want a World War III, let him follow and win, and let Putin say, do what you want, NATO. Just do what you want. There's a thing called Article 5. An attack on one is attack on all, and required response. The idea, I can't think of a single major leader in the world who wouldn't trade places with the job I've done and what they've done. Because we are a powerful nation. We have wonderful people. It's because of the people, not me. It's because of the American people. They're capable of anything, and they step up when they're needed. And right now, we're needed. We're needed to protect the world because our own safety is at stake. And again, you want to have a war, just let Putin go ahead and take Kyiv, make sure they move on, see what happens in Poland, Hungary, and other places along that border. Then you have a war.
President Trump, as I come back to you for a follow-up, the question was, will you accept the results of this election, regardless of who wins?
I don't know if I can watch this
if I might.
Biden is such a fucking
They took a lot of land from Bush.
I mean,
they took a lot of land from Obama and Biden. They took no land, nothing from Trump, nothing. He knew not to do it. He's not going to play games with me. He knew that. I got along with him very well, but he knew not to play games. He took nothing from me. But now he's going to take the whole thing from this man right here. That's a war that should have never started. It would have never started ever with me. And he's going to take Ukraine. And, you know, you asked me a question before, would you do this? He's got us in such a bad position right now with Ukraine and Russia because Ukraine's not winning that war. He said, I will never settle until such time. They're running out of people. They're running out of soldiers. They've lost so many people. It's so sad. They've lost so many people, and they've lost those gorgeous cities with the golden domes that are 1,000 years old, all because of him and stupid decisions. Russia would have never attacked if I were
President
president.
Trump, the question was, will you accept the results of the election?
Dude, that was
regardless of
perfect.
who wins, yes or no?
That right there, that
If
was
it's
a good
fair
answer.
and legal and good election, absolutely. I would have much rather accepted these, but the fraud and everything else was ridiculous. And if you want, we'll have a news conference on it in a week, or we'll have another one of these in a week. But I will absolutely, there's nothing I'd rather do. It would be much easier for me to do that than I'm running again. I wasn't really going to run until I saw the horrible job he did. He's destroying our country. I would be very happy to be someplace else, in a nice location someplace. And again, no indictments, no political opponent stuff, because it's the only way he thinks he can win. But unfortunately, it's driven up my numbers and driven them up to a very high level because the people understand it.
Well, let's see what your numbers are when this election is over. Let's see. You're a whiner. When you lost the first time, you continued, you appealed and appealed to courts all across the country. Not one single court in America said any of your claims had any merit, state or local. None.
Dude.
But you continue to provoke
This
lie.
is starting to get
Somehow there's
scary.
all this misrepresentation.
It's been
all this
scary.
stealing. There's no evidence
Like,
of that at
really
all.
scary, though.
And I tell you what, I doubt whether you'll accept it because you're such a whiner. The idea if you lose again,
I feel
you
like
accept
people
it
are
anyway.
gonna start
You
turning
can't
on
stand
each
loss.
other.
Something snapped in you when you lost the last time.
That's
We'll
been
be
happening
right
too.
back with more from the CNN presidential debate, live from Georgia.
Dude, I can tell from the CNN reporters that they know Biden is getting absolutely whooped. Like, this is crazy. I cannot.
Not everybody's on that same page. I'm playing a game right now, and there's people in the game saying that Trump isn't talking about anything useful. People aren't really taking anything into it. It's scary how
They're saying Biden's saying useful shit. Dude,
Mosquitoes are
it's wild.
formidable opponents.
It's scary.
So
The
you
fact
should
that
use
people.
bug
Where are you
sprays,
looking at this?
torches,
What are people?
I'm watching.
or
I'm in
chemicals.
RuneScape right now.
exist.
You need a device that actually
What
I'm
are
playing
works.
RuneScape right now, and these guys are talking about how bad they're
swear to
boasting.
God.
Catch rate that disrupts the mosquito.
RuneScape nerds are saying that Trump's doing bad.
It didn't seem like
No,
anything
about
could
it's like
happen.
1/3 of the
'Cause
people on
nothing
right now
ever
are talking
happens
shit
in East
about
Palestine.
Trump.
Dude, I think he's
But it
nailed
did.
every question and then added some.
I'm not saying
He
anything
takes all the
negative
time.
about Trump
Dude,
personally.
I
I'm just
can't-
saying, like,
I don't understand.
it's scary the fact that people are watching it and not, you know, understanding.
Due to chemical
Dude,
fumes. Did you ever have
Scary.
these problems before the derailment?
When you said it was scary, I was like, oh man, it definitely is.
We can assure the community
Like-
there's not vinyl chloride entering their communities.
Then why are there
See,
I mean, unless these
Mackey's
guys are just
saying,
messing
did you
around.
even understand Biden? I've literally understood
bronchitis?
6% of everything that he has said tonight. I don't
What
know
was the
what he's
tangent on
saying.
golf about? Why did we go on a 5-minute tangent on golf?
Well, Trump had brought up just about they were asking him about his health. He said he's good. He can.
Did I
can
miss
handle-
that, or did Biden tell Trump that he
No,
can
let me
carry
talk,
his
motherfucker.
bag?
I'm trying to
That's
explain it.
disrespectful as
He
fuck.
said Trump said he could hit ball far. He won 2 championships in golf recently, stuff like that. And that Biden, he said Biden offered to play a match with Trump.
See,
And
legendary's on
Let me
point. He's saying the
finish.
people are not understanding, need more knowledge on these things.
Let me finish.
I agree. They're so fucking fed by the goddamn
Server
Biden
meeting.
government.
So Zach, he said he said that
You can be really
he-
old at 60.
that Biden said to Trump that he would play a game, but Trump has to carry his own bag, like not have
When
a
I
ball
heard
boy
carry his
or
own
a
bag, I
ball boy.
almost punched him through the fucking screen. That is disrespectful as fuck.
And you don't get your own. What are they called? Caddies.
Caddy,
Yeah.
You don't get a caddy. That Trump had to carry his own bag. I was like, what does that have to do with playing golf? Like Biden gonna carry his own bag?
That's what I'm talking about. That whole
can't
little
pick
rant
up
that
a
Biden went on was just like,
driver, dude.
we just went. I don't know. It's just the fact that it's going the way it is, and
All right, I need another beer.
Any human being watches this all the way through and still thinks that
If you have 1 out of 100 airplanes falling out of the sky.
I'm telling you, dude, that
Biden
there's
hasn't
people
been
out
able
there
to-
that's scary.
Biden hasn't been able to say anything that helps his case of like
I think I asked direct questions.
he hasn't said anything that makes his presidency seem good. Because everything they've said, he's failed to explain. Like he can't sit there and say that inflation's not all he's been doing is attacking Trump.
I think it's crazy that people keep talking about how they both avoid. It's like they don't really give them both an opportunity to kind of retort each other, so they kind of have to take the few seconds they can at the beginning before answering a question to get into something. I feel like it's just not. It's not really set up for anybody to actually.
Progress from the debacle that was left.
I don't know.
President
Talking
Trump
to
in his last term.
who?
We find ourselves in a
Biden's talking
situation
right now.
where, number one, we have to
He said
make
number
sure
one.
we have a fair tax system. I ask anyone out there in the audience, or anyone out watching this.
I got an
debate,
ad.
I think the tax system is fair. The fact is that I said nobody even making under $400,000 had a single penny increase in their
What is
taxes.
my thing
and
doing?
will
There we
not-
go.
And if I'm reelected, that'll be the case again. But this guy has increased your taxes because of the deficit, number one. He's increased inflation because of the debacle he left after the way he handled the pandemic. And he finds himself in a position where he now wants to tax you more by putting a 10% tariff on everything that comes into the United States of America. What I did, when, for example, he wants to get rid of the ability of Medicare us to be able to negotiate drug prices with the big pharma companies. Well, guess what? We got it down to $35 for insulin instead of $400. No more than $2,000 for every senior, no matter how much prescription they need. You know what that did? That reduced the federal debt by $160 billion over 10 years because the government doesn't have to pay the exorbitant prices. I'm going to make that available to every senior all along. It's happening now, and everybody in America. He wants to get rid of that. I'm going to make sure that we have child care. We're going to significantly increase the credits people have for child care. I'm going to make sure we do something about what we're doing on lead pipes and all the things that are causing health problems for people across the country. We're going to continue to fight to bring down inflation and give people a break.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, you now have 2 minutes for your closing statement.
Like so many politicians, this man is just a complainer. He said, we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to get rid of this tax, that tax. But he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do, all he does is make our country unsafe by allowing millions and millions of people to pour in. Our military doesn't respect him. We look like fools in Afghanistan. We didn't stop Israel. It was such a horrible thing that would have never happened. It should have never happened. Iran was broke. Anybody that did business with Iran, including China, they couldn't do business with the United States. They all passed. Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah, for terror, no money whatsoever. Again, Ukraine should have never happened. He talks about all this stuff, but he didn't do it. For 3.5 years, we're living in hell. We have the Palestinians and we have everybody else rioting all over the place. You talk about Charlottesville. This is 100 times Charlottesville, 1,000 times. The whole country is exploding because of you, because they don't respect you, and they have to respect their president, and they don't respect you throughout the world. What we did was incredible. We rebuilt the military. We got the largest tax cut in history, the largest regulation cut in history. The reason he's got jobs is because I cut the regulations that gave jobs, but he's putting a lot of those regulations back on. All of the things that we've done, nobody's never seen anything like. Even from a medical standpoint, right to try, where we can try space-age materials instead of going to Asia or going to Europe and trying to get when you're terminally ill. Now you can go and you can get something. You sign a document. They've been trying to get it for 42 years. But you know what we did for the military was incredible. Choice for our soldiers, where our soldiers, instead of waiting for 3 months to see a doctor, can go out and get themselves fixed up and readied up and take care of themselves, and they're living. And that's why I had the highest approval rating in the history of the VA. So all of these things, we're in a failing nation, but it's not going to be failing anymore. We're going to make it great again.
Thank you, former President Trump, President Biden. Stay with us because we have full analysis of this debate. Anderson Cooper and Aaron Burnett starts now on CNN.
What?
And so the first presidential debate of the 2024 election season is in the books, as you witnessed President Biden.
It's over? They didn't say, like, goodbye and play a little, like, music on the way out or something?
From advisors close to him that apparently he's had a cold for the past several days. But he also had a number
let's listen to the analysis and then we'll give our analysis.
Of facts and accomplishments that he wanted to touted, but I
Wait,
think
who'd
his
she
voice
say had a cold?
sometimes was distracting from that. President Trump
Fine, he had a sore
Are
throat.
you
lies
fucking
and exaggerations,
dude,
but then
there's no
President
way.
Biden failed to fact check
What?
Trump most of
He
the
had a
time.
cold.
We've got our entire panel here tonight to discuss what we witnessed. John Dickerson, I'll start with you.
Dude's
For the majority of
about to
Americans
die.
who don't want this choice, the debate met those expectations. I think you characterized it correctly. What we heard about President Biden is people who know him said, when he was underestimated in the 2020 campaign, people said, look to his convention speech and he exceeded expectations. They said, look to his State of the Union addresses when he exceeded expectations. On the debate stage, he came in well under expectations, both as a matter of performance and as arguing for why his vision for the future is better. As you mentioned, Donald Trump gave fantastical, delusional answers on January 6th, on Charlottesville, on what he said about the theft of the last election. And that matters because he's trying to convince people who saw things with their own eyes that what they saw was not so. And part of being president is seeing things clearly. So
these people are retarded.
Something of this,
Delusional?
I'm not sure, but for President Biden, who had the behavioral challenge tonight.
Are they still
That's
talking?
the theatrical
Is
challenge.
that what you listened to?
No, they cut the stream. What?
What?
All right, I'm
They
not
cut-
gonna end it, but I'm gonna put
CBS
on.
cut the stream. Like CBS cut their own stream. Oh, they switched over to another stream. I'm not putting anything on. I'm not listening to those people. Dude, there's nothing to explain. It's over. The dude is one rough sneeze away from just death. The problem is people that were already supporting Biden are so goddamn brain dead that they're just gonna keep supporting Biden. They're gonna be like, "Oh, Biden," like that lady just said he had a cold. What the what the fuck does that have to do with your cognitive ability? It was either the first or second question when you walked away. He looked down and just gave up and just stopped talking. And CNN had to like say, "Okay, President Trump." I'm gonna go back and find that for you, Brennan.
Dude, I can't. That was the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. I will
I'll pull it up on your
100%.
screen.
Like, Zach, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
It's just, I don't know, it's just kind of crazy. I don't know, to me it was kind of a little more clear that Trump was able to answer the questions a lot more clearly. And
dude, like, I mean, I'm telling you, that bitch stopped talking. He was on the question. It was no
he was snapping onto
bullshit.
it.
And dude, I think he answered every single question and then used all his time. Where Biden left, "Oh, well, President, there's 84 seconds left on the clock." That was crazy.
Yeah, it's over. I don't know. I'm going to bed.
Yo, so if they say it's over, that means Biden's not staying for the after shit. They told him to stay.
I don't give a shit what after shit there is, because
That's crazy. I'm
my
telling
brain
you, that
already
was
hurts.
the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Hell yeah.
it was definitely interesting.
Yup.
Oh my goodness. Damn. Well, I'm gonna end the stream here, everybody. It's been fun talking to everybody. I don't even have an ending message for y'all. My brain is dead after fucking paying attention to that shit. It's fucking crazy. Oh my goodness. All I can say is make America great again. Let's go, Trump.